welcome to the show. I apologize to anyone watching on YouTube right now. Yes, I'm wearing a 49ers sweater. Wait, why is it playing yesterday's show? Oh, did we hit the wrong intro music? This is not a slight at the Lions.
Oh, that's the one I hit every time.
Well, I don't think it is.
It says TDC open.
All right.
All right, 1 second. Sorry.
And, I will say here. Yeah, we'll listen to yesterday's show. We can. This is called an air check meeting in the biz. We'll air check ourselves.
This, dude, that's what's going on. Okay.
Ah, boy.
Okay.
Oh, Jesus.
I don't know how that would have played, though. Okay, sorry. Want me to restart the phone?
Sure.
Let's do it.
It's my first day.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah, nailed it. See what I have to deal with over here? You see what's going on? There it is. Hey! You take the good, you take the bad. You take them both, and there you have. Hello, everybody. Welcome to the show. I think Easus is trying to sabotage young Garrett over here, is what's going on. You know what I mean? Like, oh, yeah, Garrett, you sit here. I'll sit over here in the hot chair and
throw me right in the producer chair and mess it all up.
Oh, yeah, click here.
I just wanted everyone else to see how it's harder than it looks. It's not a fucking totally retard proof.
He is actually a good teacher.
Is he? Is he all right?
I'm learning.
I don't know why. Well, I don't know why that Cool Edit was playing. I feel like
was that Cool?
That's what it was. That's what it was playing.
Okay.
It was
for those that don't know. That's the editing software that I use to edit the show.
I just don't know why, because I saw him click. Well, it doesn't matter. But.
Yeah. All right. We're good. Is that gonna loop? Does he need to stop that now?
Yeah, I usually do.
Okay.
That's a good point.
Smart. He can do that, and then because at some point. Yeah,
because at some point,
if you stop it, then because I need to if we pull up anything on the screen, there you go.
Yeah, I got it.
Then it's yeah. No, these are all pitfalls that we deal with. And the good thing is, Garrett, we've already fucked everything up you can fuck up.
It makes you feel comfortable.
Yeah, so we're very comfortable screwing things up because we've done it for so long. Anyways, welcome to the show. I got some great feedback yesterday. I was really happy about that. Thank you to everybody that reached out. It actually helps to hear what you guys think, because there's been a handful of times over the years where people really didn't like certain people, and nobody had the fucking balls enough to tell me.
Yeah.
And then it's like you remove elements, and people then pipe in and go, "Oh, yeah, I fucking always hated blah blah blah," you know. And I'm not talking about Troy or anything like that. Let's be clear. There's been plenty of people here over the years, so I could be talking about myriad people. So, but that's just the reality. But a lot of people jumped in.
One of them sitting right here.
What?
People that people have hated.
Oh yeah. Oh, they still do.
I know.
Don't worry.
10 years in.
I've got emails about it.
I'm sure.
Well,
I went toe to toe with somebody on Facebook today about it too. So
about you being on the show?
About someone ready for me to be gone. You know
who?
Yeah, you know
the same.
Yeah,
my dad.
Of course, no.
Oh, good.
And I don't know. What are you gonna do? I just said, well, don't worry. You only got for 2 more months. I'll be on the island with horses again. And he was very happy about that.
Yeah. I wonder how much of that is a gig or a gimmick.
I don't know. I'm not that worried about it. It's fun.
Yeah.
I like doing it.
Yeah.
But I will say this.
I like you doing it. So
I will say this. I only respond in ways that I feel like can be that I can say it positively. Like, I'm never gonna sit there and be like,
Fuck
you know
you.
what, dude? You don't fucking know what I do, or you don't know. I just always like say it in ways of like, well, don't worry, it's only a few more months, and I'll be doing my thing, or I don't know. I just never respond negatively.
If you think you're gonna bully Easus by making shitty comments about him, you're not.
I know.
He's been getting his ass handed to him by bullies
fucking
since kindergarten. So he's got a very hardened shell at this point.
I do like I stir it. Well, I don't do it all the time, but once in a while I do like to get in there and stir it up, I guess.
Yeah, it's easy to do. And then you go, what am I doing?
I don't care because I'm having fun with it. Yeah. That's the thing for me. Like, you want to talk about living rent-free in someone's head. I mean, dude, you're the one a grown man commenting on another grown man's shocking life.
One of my favorite things to do is just rile somebody up and then leave the conversation.
Yeah, that's a really shitty thing to do, Garrett.
It's kind of shitty, but they started.
There's something about your generation.
First. They come after me, I respond, get them all riled up, and then I just ghost it.
Yeah.
It's the best way to win.
See, Raj likes to play that game, too, where he knows he was like, he was writing me during the championship game, Niners Lions.
Yeah.
And he's like, what was he saying? When the Niners started to catch up, he starts writing me.
Now it's like, whoa.
And he's like, fuck the city of Detroit and blah, 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 and all this. And I'm like, bro, you can't get me on this. I'm a Niners fan too. So I win either way. And he's like, and then so he's shitting on the Niners when the Lions are doing really well in the first half, like crazy. And I'm like, I'm so happy my Lions are doing great. This is amazing. And then he immediately so it had not, all he wanted to do was poke the bear.
Right.
He's just trying to fuck with me. It had nothing. He's like, well, I hope the city of Detroit burns and never recovers. And I'm like, oh, fuck you. And then he'll say something shitty about San Francisco. So it has nothing to do with Detroit.
I think I've said it on the show before, but I
don't do that to people.
Yeah.
So I don't engage like that. So I'm like, oh, God.
But I've been known to what I would call, I guess, I don't know if it's positive trolling or bullying, but I don't do it specifically. I don't look for sites, but I'll think look up on my Facebook, like, oh, some 41's coming or whatever, right? And then you'll get 10 people like, band's never been good, or every album, and I just go like, why are you commenting on this, dude?
Yeah.
What, so bad that you decide, and they'll come back like, well, why are you worried about what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like, well, dude, you went on a fucking Ticketmaster Facebook page, and we're bitching about this band coming. Like, it's like
the idea that
you couldn't pay. I would go to a concert if it was free in my bathroom. I'm like, okay, well, don't worry, they don't know who you are.
Yeah,
trust me.
I know the idea that through my Facebook or whatever scroll, Instagram, Twitter comes up, Shania Twain will be live at Pine Knob this summer.
You couldn't pay me to
fuck.
See
I wouldn't buy it. Like, no. Why would I ever do that?
And by the way, I don't believe anyone that says you couldn't pay me to see anything.
Yeah.
If I don't care who the fuck it is. If you're like, you couldn't pay me to see whoever you want to name, yeah, you could.
Yeah.
There'd be a price.
No, I remember Drew was going off one day about Bruce Springsteen, blah, blah, blah. And I remember Mark leaning over me. And this is 25 years ago.
Yeah.
I mean, back before people said that. And he was like, if they were playing in my bathroom and I had to take a shit, I would not go in there.
Right.
He just so couldn't give a shit about Bruce Springsteen.
And that's different to me. That's kind of buddies talking to buddies, though. That is different to me than making a post on like I said, a Ticketmaster page or something. And
it had context because Mark and I were living in this tiny ass house in Royal Oak. Had no basement, and it had the smallest fucking bathroom in the history of. This is where we would vacuum ants up.
Right.
When it was just like we left food everywhere, we would just throw dishes away. Because Clark gave us like 500 dishes, and so it was like, well, I'm not washing that. We just throw it in the garbage. Shit like that. We would use Riff T-shirts to mop up bacon grease. Like we were obnoxious, and we had this tiny little bathroom. So he was like, if Bruce Springsteen was playing in our fucking bathroom and I had to take a shit, I wouldn't go in there.
Right.
And I'm like, I get it. And that almost bit us once, having that tiny little bathroom. We went it was me, Fellhauer, and Mark's brother Dan.
Okay.
And we went to Sign of the Beef Carver, which is, I'd never been there.
Oh, boy.
And I think it's like a buffet style. Or something.
I think so. I've never been, but I just feel like I know where this is going.
Yeah. And so the three of us, and Dan is fucking hilarious, man. He's even funnier than Mark. But Dan and Mark and I go there and eat whatever. And we're like 3 minutes from our house. We lived in Royal Oak. And this is off Woodward, where the Sign of the Beef, it's still there. And all three of us are like, oh, fuck, man. I don't think I'm going to make it to the bathroom. And we've got one tiny little bathroom.
Boy.
And it was like,
oh, no.
Holy shit. There's a line in our own house.
Right.
And it was just like, who's going in first? I think Mark went in first. I got second, and then Dan. And it was just like you'd flush and run out of it. was horrible. It
smelled great, too.
Oh, yeah, I'm sure. With three fat asses like us in there. Yeah, it was,
oh, my God.
Yeah, it was not good. I've never been back there either. I've never gone back to the Sign of the Beef Carver.
But I would say there's just so much. All the stuff I'm talking about, again, is like this anonymous social media. Anything amongst a group of guys, or if you're watching the game and shit, I think anything you say is fair. Like, that is totally different, me saying to you.
No, we were in the studio while Drew's still going on and on about Bruce Springsteen coming to town. And you could see Mark doing that.
Yeah. No, that's totally different to me, though, because he's talking to someone he knows. You're just kind of fucking, it's more, you know what I'm saying.
Yeah. Exactly.
Losers on the internet.
Yeah. The internet thing I've never fully understood. I probably engaged in it at some point early on, like fuck, I hate this band. Who cares if they're coming to, but then,
Yeah.
so not
I don't know. I
doing
got
that
to a
now.
point where I just don't take anything on the internet seriously or let it affect my real life. So that's why I kind
Yeah.
of shit talk. Is if I've managed to ruin your night over an internet comment, you might need to check some priorities.
Here's the difference, though. Here's the difference. Your generation has entirely grown up with that
Yeah.
world.
And honestly,
Like-
I've never told anyone, harm yourself or anything like that. That's off
Yeah.
the table. I just,
Oh,
I
God
just talk
forbid.
shit back. You
Yeah.
know?
But for us, it was like a new thing that happened in our 20s. And so it was like you didn't have that. And so it's harder, I think, for older people to just like let shit
Yeah,
fly
maybe
like
that's
that.
why.
Like I was never bullied in my life. Never once. And so the first time someone makes some comment about, oh, you look like you've packed onto it, you're like, fuck, man.
Right.
Whereas I think you guys have been dealing with this since you were 5.
Dude, I'm
you guys
invincible.
Yeah, you guys have been fucking with each other for so long, your generation. It's been a fully functioning internet since you were born.
And yet somehow there's so many people complaining about every little microaggression.
Oh, yeah, they sure are. They sure are. Because they get attention.
Yeah.
They're attention seeking. That's all. They're not really offended. I don't believe that any of these people are offended. In fact, that'll come into play in some of our stories today. I don't believe people are truly offended by jack shit. And, they just want to see how much damage they can do.
I've often tried to think, honestly, if there's been a time when I think I've been offended, like on a real, and I would say short of in a friendship or interpersonal relationship where you might be like, dude, that guy was, that's my good friend and he didn't fucking invite me out. I don't know, maybe something like that where you're kind of like,
Yeah.
fuck him, dude. You couldn't
Yeah.
ask me to go to the concert or I don't know, maybe, but I don't know if that's offended. I don't know if that's more just upset. But I'm trying to have ever
Yeah.
thought if I've been offended, and we've talked about this on the show before, where I've tried to think if something in the
Yeah.
media or something has offended me.
I don't think that thing exists.
I don't-
I mean, I don't even know what could, because either it's rooted in trying to be funny, even if it fails.
Yeah.
And it's like, nice swing and a miss, and I'll never forget Rob Schaefer telling me, they can't all be home runs. When I had some idea,
Yeah.
as an intern on Drew and Mike.
Right.
And he was their producer, and it was like, they can't all be home runs. And I'll never forget that. It's like, you can't take offense if you go, hey, this might be a funny idea. And it's like, I don't see it,
Yeah.
And it's like, sometimes it just
Well,
doesn't.
that's more of a constructive criticism.
Yeah, but at the time, no one had ever told me, no, that's not funny enough, or no, that's not good enough.
Right,
no,
right.
I'd never experienced that. It was like, look, kid, they can't all be home runs. And it's like, all right,
Yeah.
fair enough.
Yep.
I think the closest I maybe could come, I suppose, is when national media try to pull the very lazy making fun of Detroit stuff. I guess
Yeah.
I kind of get offended in a sense of like, fuck you, Detroit's not that, or whatever.
Yeah.
I don't know if that's offended, but it's not enough that I would ever do anything about it.
It's
just like
it's
kind of
super
like
lazy. I know what you mean. That's actually a pretty good one, Isis, because I know what you mean when it's like, oh yeah, like what would you ever do in Detroit? And there's still media people that'll
Yeah.
do that in sports,
Right.
And then you'll get the gratuitous dipshit that goes, actually, Detroit's on the comeback, and blah blah blah. And it's like, if you're around here, like that's
Yeah.
a tired stereotype.
And even that, like, I don't know if
was
I'm
true.
offended. I'm just more like, dude, come on, man,
Yeah.
or whatever. Oh, I get it. Detroit's terrible.
But you're never going to be like, get him fired for
fuck
it.
no,
Yeah,
no.
it's like,
Probably
someone wants to be ignorant.
No,
so
I could
what?
probably find other things why they should be fired, but
Yeah.
that wouldn't be it.
Yeah. Stephen A. Smith did that 2 weeks ago, I guess now, during the
Yeah, he said something about Detroit,
He said
didn't
something
he?
about Detroit. And, you never know, because I think it might have been either a local businesswoman or council person or of some sort. And she used that as a platform to film a video of her going, actually, Stephen A., you don't speak for my city. We've been on the back.
Yeah.
And it's like, okay, are you using this to, hype yourself up or, whatever.
I've always said this too. I remember saying this, like, I'm not a good confrontational person. Again, I don't know if this is offended, but I get more defensive of friends of mine if someone says something about them than I ever will about myself. Like,
Yeah.
people can say shit about myself and I'm usually like, whatever.
Yeah.
But if there's something about someone saying about my friend or something, if I'm like, dude, are you fuck you, man? Like, I
Yeah.
can stand up. I've always said that. I can stand up for
Well,
friends.
you
I can't
never
stand up
did
for
when
my
Jay came down here and shit all over me every day. You certainly didn't have my back then.
Oh, well,
feel
that
like-
was different. He was like, well, I was
Jay
getting.
was also your
if you
friend,
think
though.
you were getting shit on, you think I wasn't getting shit on?
Oh, you were getting, but hey, we're not talking about you every minute, Ease. Jesus, we're talking about me.
Yeah, well, I was in flight or fight myself, so when Zeke Heil was in there.
Yeah. Yeah, it wasn't always fun and games around here. And yeah, I had a way
That's a good point. You're right about that.
I had
That's
a way
fair.
of pushing Jay's buttons quite a bit. No, I know, and it makes me feel bad because my boy Tucci, I've talked about plenty, best salesperson you'll ever meet in the world, but one of the best people you'll ever meet. And Tucci is just one of those guys that I don't give a shit how right you are, how wrong someone else is. If you try to go down that road of like, you're not going to believe what this motherfucker did, he's not playing.
Yeah.
He won't engage with it. He will Switzerland the shit out of it. And he'll just be like, hey, man, I can see both sides, or I can, he wants to get onto something else. He's just not going to talk shit about someone he knows that and this and that. But that's a great feeling because I know for a fact if anybody tries to shit on me to him, he ain't going to do it.
Yeah, yeah.
And I have plenty of friends who will. Who will jump in and be like, yeah, fuck that guy. But Tooch ain't one of them.
Right.
Tooch, as much as he has everybody else's back, he's got my back. And it's like, hey, man, I can't ask for any more. So it's got to be something that's really gin me up for me to even bring it up to him. And even then I know to just okay, sorry, bro, I got to fucking air this shit real quick, and then we'll move on. And he's like, hey, man, I got you. And then it's just like, move on. Let's get out of here because he doesn't want anything to do with it. So it's a better way to go about life.
It's a good quality, man.
It's a great quality. It's a great quality. So anyway, I think where do people stand on Bud Light these days?
I think it's coming back. A lot of people stopped carrying a while ago. The price is back up, too, so you can't get it for dirt cheap anymore.
Really?
Yeah.
So we had the whole Dylan Mulvaney shit. Their numbers have remained down in a lot of respects. Down when you go to first.
But I wonder if that's all
first quarter 22 sales are down 28% right now compared to that.
Is it all that, or honestly, it's just not a beer that much people drink as much anymore?
It was the number one beer in the world.
It was my favorite. You can
Was
drink
it?
all
Or in
day,
America.
I can't wait.
Yeah, not the world. In America, number one beer.
Before?
Oh, 100%. Modelo passed it.
Okay.
Yeah, it was the number one selling beer in America.
Okay.
So,
well, the only thing I would say about
and
that
they-
is
they
it's always
lost
it's
billions,
It's the
too.
thing that's always there for the most part. That's the other thing. Like it's a lot of sporting events. That's the
Yeah.
one that's there.
Well, I liked
That's-
it, too, because it was so light you could just keep drinking it and not...
yeah, it's
lose
one of
your
those you
night.
can have
Yeah,
20 of
you
in
can
a
have
night.
20
if you
of
Because
want.
like I
Might
switched
be
to
okay.
Mick Ultras now, for example. That's what I drink because it's even
Well,
more low carbs than Bud Light and shit like that. And
Yeah,
so like
by what, like half a calorie or something?
yeah, but the carbs are a big deal, man. You talk
Yeah.
about 2 carbs per can, it still adds up.
It adds up when you have 20.
That's what
Well,
exactly.
I think I don't know, not that I've gone into a bar and ordered a Bud Light in forever, but I've certainly been at, events where it's just like, oh, just Bud Light is here. And I don't know I still feel kind of like if I'm going to an event and they've got Bud Light or Coors Light or, Dos Equis, I'm going to buy one of the other ones before Bud Light. Where maybe before
Really?
I'd just be like, give me a Bud Light. And it's not because I hate Dylan Mulvaney. It's got nothing to do with that. It's that you took a shot as a company and it was so off the fucking mark. And the fact that you major corporations still don't recognize what your base is, and it feels like this onslaught of wokeness and all that shit. That's me personally. Now, that doesn't apply to everyone. Now, the reason I bring this up today is not to rehash Dylan Mulvaney, Bud Light, blah, blah, blah. But I think Bud Light has hit an absolute fucking grand slam.
I think I know where this is going. I
Yeah.
think I saw it.
They have a new person that they've signed up.
I follow this person. That's how I found
This
out.
dude is a beast. And I'm sure a lot of you have heard it, but they have announced a new partnership with Shane Gillis, the comedian. And you don't know who Shane is?
No.
Oh, my God.
Oh.
Remember the Trump speed dating bit?
No.
You want to find the Trump? Have you seen Trump speed
I'm so
dating?
bad.
Oh,
I
yeah.
don't pay attention to shit, I
love
guess,
Shane
anymore.
Gillis.
Dude, Shane Gillis is an absolute monster. He's the guy that was on SNL and got fired because he was doing like fake Chinese accents.
Oh,
and
okay.
shit.
I do remember that. I didn't know that was
Dude,
him.
his stand-up specials are spectacular. His sketch comedy is spectacular. He's absolutely one of the. He's screaming to the top right
Gotcha.
now.
I remember that
Absolutely.
incident. I didn't know that was who that was. If you'd asked
Well-
me who that was, but
If you ask me, this comes from a segment that Joe Rogan does. It's an actual show, But Rogan has his buddies come in, and it's Mark Norman and Shane Gillis and Ari Shaffir and Joe. And the four of them will sit around. Sorry, that's my fault. The four of them will sit around and drink and smoke and take mushrooms, and they'll do like a fucking 5-hour podcast.
Gotcha.
And it's hilarious and all this. And Gillis, in the middle of the fucking heat with Dylan Mulvaney and Bud Light.
Yeah.
He drinks like 20 Bud Lights at a sitting.
Yeah.
Doesn't give a shit. He's like, fuck that. I don't care. It's my beer. I don't, you know.
Yeah, yeah.
So when Kid Rock is shooting up cases.
Right, he's just like, whatever, I
The
don't
whole
give a
country's coming glued. He's like, whatever. It's
what I drink.
And so he's gotten in it. He's trying to have a drinking contest with Ari Shaffir at one point. Ari ends up puking in a bucket and pissing himself in, 10 beers in.
I respect that.
Yeah, and Ari is just, Shane is just fucking hammering him.
Yeah.
Hammering him. He actually worked with Kumia's network
Okay.
at one point. Shane did. And he does Shane and Matt's Secret Podcast, I think.
Yep.
Which is where a lot of his shit came from. They'd go back 10 years and find offensive shit and all that stuff. So at one point, listening to Rogan and those guys were like, what are we going to name this podcast? Because they do it like once every 2 months or something. All four guys meet up.
That's a lot.
It's a lot. And whenever they're in Austin together.
Yeah.
And a lot of those guys have followed Rogan and moved right to Austin, Texas. Yeah. They're funny as shit. They're great. They tell road stories, all kinds of stuff. It's funny stuff. So they ended up calling it Protect Our Parks.
Okay.
And so every time you see Joe Rogan show Protect Our Parks, it's Norman, it's Gillis,
Gotcha.
Shaffir, and Joe. And they're great. They're great. But one of those episodes, Shane's going on about Bud Light, and the topic came up.
Yeah.
And Joe is just like, why? In the middle of all the shit they're dealing with this whole Dylan Mulvaney, they've lost billions in stocks, in their portfolio. Like, their board can't be happy. Like, why wouldn't you bring Shane Gillis on? Like, this dude he just doesn't stop. He's a machine. He exclusively drinks your product.
Yeah, yeah.
And I gotta think, when you've got 11 million listeners per show,
Yeah.
someone over there had to hear that and go, fuck it. This is killing us, man. Just bring Shane Gillis in and let's do it. I don't care about the shit that got him kicked off SNL. I don't care about whatever offensive jokes he's said, because they call him a homophobe and a racist and all the usual, which is garbage. If you watch his stuff, it's funny's funny.
My only thing about it is, like, not to be that person, but do people really care? So what, he's going to come on and say, I drink Bud Light, and they're going to put it in a commercial, I guess, and so people start drinking Bud Light again? You know what I mean? Like,
if you get some advertising with and marketing with celebrity can work if it's the right fit. And I don't think, and Garrett, you might have an opinion, but I don't think there's a better fit for Bud Light than Shane Gillis.
I was going to say that, and Post Malone are the only two.
Is Post Malone big into the Bud Light too?
He's huge in Bud Light. He's been one of his brands too.
And that would make sense. I saw an interview with him, and I thought he was great.
Oh yeah, he's apparently, according to everybody, he's one of the nicest guys ever, but smells a little funny.
Oh really?
That's the only comments he ever gets.
Yeah. No, I thought he was highly. He was pretty intelligent. He's a younger guy, and talented and humble. And it's like, dude, that's awesome. If you're gonna look up to musicians, you want them to be humble.
Oh no, he's dope, man.
Yeah. Still haven't checked out a ton of his music. I
you know what's
did
funny?
one night start listening. I was like, yeah, this dude's all right.
I like some of his stuff. I don't love it all. For example, I'm waiting for him to do a country album because I think that's going to come.
Yeah, that's going to come.
But
sure. He's got ballads though.
He has good shit.
I was going to say he does a song with Ozzy Osbourne that's amazing.
Really?
Yeah, current Ozzy too. Like they recorded the video on a live performance, right? And they had people holding Ozzy up pretty much to sing.
No kidding.
It's wild.
Yeah, Ozzy's great in those. When he teams up with someone,
hook on it.
Ozzy's voice is so iconic and so recognizable. Oh, just amazing.
I just think with the celebrity brand stuff, I don't know, maybe I'm wrong. I just don't think as many people care about that as they used to. And who knows? Maybe they put him on he mentions it on his podcast, like you said, 11 million people or something.
I think Bud Light was literally cratering, okay? So if you get someone like Shane Gillis, and this is just my opinion, you get someone like that, Shane reaches an audience that's younger and older. He doesn't give a shit. He's not woke. He's not a DEI hire or some forced propaganda like you usually get shoved on you by celebrities.
Yeah.
Shane is not that dude. He's got shitty jeans on and a shitty T-shirt, and he's sloppy, and he's got fucked up hair, and he's just your average blue collar. I think he's a Cincinnati guy, maybe, or something like that.
So.
Midwestern dude who's a great comic. But I did he go to West Point or something? Like wicked smart dude. Yeah, I heard him. He did a podcast with Louis C.K. once and about history.
Oh, that's all I need to know,
dude.
I'm just kidding.
Well, it opened, and he started at the very first president and rattled all of them off.
Yeah,
all the way to the top, and that's how they started the show.
Okay,
it's unbelievable. You're just like, holy fuck, man. But he's a true history buff. He's a lot like Huey, except very, very talented.
Yeah.
I
mean,
so he shared
a wannabe history buff.
Yeah. Gillis shared images of himself inside the Anheuser-Busch Brewery in St. Louis, as well as next to one of the Clydesdale horses. Last year, he spoke about the ordeal with Mulvaney on the Rogan show. It became a joke, and that is tough to overcome marketing-wise. It's tough to get people to order a Bud Light publicly because you are going to get made fun of. So
I don't know for real. I'm not. I never
he would
saw
know.
that.
He would know.
Okay, I never saw that personally.
But you don't hang out many in bars, and you're not ordering Bud Lights.
Yeah, I do. Do both those things.
You order Bud Lights in bars over the last 6 months?
Absolutely.
Really?
That's really what I order when I go to the bar.
All right.
Well, I started drinking Michelob Ultra, but
yeah, there you go.
Okay, so not the last 6 months, but
which is when the controversy was.
Was it like a year ago?
It's less than a year.
Okay,
less than a year.
Okay.
The backlash led to plummeting sales, and Modelo taking over America's #1 beer brand. Anheuser-Busch lost $390 million in the second quarter sales compared to the year before. By December, sales of the beer had still not recovered, despite the company teaming up with NFL stars in a marketing campaign in an attempt to boost sales. They did that 4th of July shit, too, and tried to go all patriotic.
Yeah.
And both of those, what happened? You saw through it. You saw through it. I don't think you'll see through Shane Gillis. That's a legit hire. And that's what I mean. It's like, I don't want to see Peyton Manning and fucking Emmitt Smith shilling for Bud Light.
Yeah.
No.
And I think to me, it also bringing Shane Gillis in is them saying, like, hey, we know we messed up. Here's a guy that we think you're all going to like. Like, we're trying to do damage control. We want your business back. And I can see that as a consumer.
Totally. So, and I agree with that completely. In the 4 weeks ending December 9th, so just a month, almost closing in 2 months ago, Bud Light's retail store sales were down 28% compared with the same period in 22. The reaction to Gillis being hired and partnered with the brand has been overwhelmingly positive. No shock. One person commented, greatest marketing comeback of all time. I can't think of a better one. Like, if you're in damage control and trying to fix what was a total fuck up, I don't know that you could do better than this. Honestly, if you guys can think of a better partnership saving tool, I don't know what one would be.
Nothing offhand.
No. If there's anyone in the YouTube comments, by the way, if anyone comments on YouTube, you guys never do, but if you want to, feel free, and Garrett will read them off.
Oh, boy. Good job.
What's
Also,
that? Yeah, there you go.
I actually want to correct some things on Shane Gillis. He's from Pennsylvania, and he went to West Point for 1 year.
1 year. Okay, so he did go to West Point.
It's still really hard to get to West Point.
Yeah,
oh, my God.
From
West Point.
Westchester.
He graduated what?
Westchester
Ooh,
University.
Bam Margera.
Yep.
Oh, is that where Bam went?
That's all you ever know about Westchester. His Bam Margera lived there.
Oh, you didn't go to school there. You just
that's
lived
where he's
there.
from,
Gotcha.
I guess.
Another person said, I mean, this could suffice as an apology. Another said, all right, I guess I'll buy Bud Light now.
But
you guys win.
You went to fucking Coors Light, and now because of this, you're going to buy Bud Light again? Why not just stick with Miller or Coors then? They're the same, pretty much.
I'm telling you, Isis, I feel like that could shift.
Okay.
We'll know in coming quarters.
Oh, I think it
could.
I would tell you, even if it does, though, if this guy really was stopping buying Bud Light and now he's going to buy it again, it's like,
I think the stats are very clear.
Okay, but I'm saying the people that decided not to buy, if they got off of Bud Light, for whatever reasons they feel like that was it, they got off it. I'm not drinking Bud Light anymore. I'm drinking Modelo or Coors Light. And then you get this. It's like, dude, just keep drinking what you're drinking anyway. What is the difference? They're all the same mostly.
Right. But they supported Bud Light for decades. #1 beer in America. And people felt betrayed by the brand. And so now, if you make a move, I'm explaining this to you. So now you make a move that is so fucking bullseye on target with what you always were and what you're trying to become and continue to be, that's a great move by Bud Light to go, look.
Oh, I think it's a good move.
We've gotten one of your own. We've got one of your own back in the mix. It's great. It's a perfect partnership. And that's why you get comments like, all right, I guess I'll buy Bud Light now. You guys win. And I think people legitimately were not looking for boardroom speak or statements and like, yeah, we're always trying to. No, that's not what they wanted. They were like, fuck you. You forgot who you were and who your American hardcore base was. And we're not putting up with it anymore. And then you go get someone like Shane Gillis, and they're like, okay, that's a real change. That's a whole lot different. And I can see why that would work. We'll know in the coming months. But my guess is Bud Light has a huge
Remind me,
success
what
with
was the deal with the trans thing? What happened exactly to make people so mad? What was?
I was going to say, from my standpoint,
Yeah.
Dylan Mulvaney is this trans person who did a long series of like day one as a woman, day two as a woman.
Yeah,
we
yeah.
we
Big on
covered some
TikTok.
of it.
Yeah,
we
but it was
played
very annoying, and she was almost like, I guess she was. Almost
was woman
pandering.
face.
It was woman face.
Yeah,
it was
yeah,
like,
yeah.
It was
I
almost comical. It was like, I gotta
But
change
what
my
did Bud Light have to
tampon.
do with it? I don't remember
So-
honestly what happened.
Bud Light was, I think, one of their marketing people was doing a bunch of sponsorships and putting faces on can, and they put Dylan Mulvaney as one of their sponsors, and obviously most of Bud Light's
I think that's
drinkers
fucking
are,
soft, man.
That's
It's a big
soft,
deal,
but-
dude. Who fucking cares?
So-
They're a big corporation.
Hold
They all
on.
suck.
Hold on.
Like,
Yeah, they do.
Yeah.
Listen, Isis. Listen. You have to put this in the context of society and what had been going on in society. So in society, you had a lot of people that are feeling this. Like, what the fuck is going on? Why are you pandering to this group, this tiny, small group? Like, wow,
But it wasn't a national ad campaign, right? It was like a social media post or two.
Let me explain. So there were a few years of this push. Like, hey, yeah, it's totally cool. Let's have fucking drag queens reading to your kids in school libraries. And a lot of people were like, how about no? And there were even brave drag queens, in my opinion, that came out like, do you know what it's like behind the scenes at a drag fucking show? No, you don't want us reading to your fucking kids. Sorry.
No.
It's a sex fest and a drug fest. There's all kinds of things. And there's all kinds of shady people involved.
I hate to say,
Period.
I've never met a drag queen or anything like that who had everything together.
Yeah.
Like, I've never met one I would like to bring around kids. I'll put it like that.
Yeah, and
Just my time.
and then it feels microwave through, and then you find out 6 months later, like, oh, this guy's on the sex registry list, and so is this, and you're like, yeah, that doesn't shock me. So there were all kinds of moves like going on like this. Dylan Mulvaney was already a very divisive figure because it wasn't like she was like, oh, I feel like I'm getting my period.
Exactly.
I'm getting cramps.
Yeah.
And oh,
Real
wow,
cringy shit.
day two as a woman. And it was just so over the top, so obnoxious, so forced. And yet corporate America was playing that out like, what a brave woman. And it's like, you have no fucking idea what women have gone through. You have no idea, Dylan, what it's like to walk down a dark street at night as a woman. You don't know what it's like to have your first period at 12 years old in the middle of a classroom, Dylan. Stop pretending you're like this brave woman now. It was offensive. And then the most redneck beer in all of America puts Dylan on a can, and now she's in a bubble bath. And if you remember, she was saying stuff like, ooh, they've got something called, I don't know, what is it? Like she's some ditzy blonde woman. March Madness. I don't even know what this is. But look at me. I'm on a can of butt. And people were like,
I do remember the March Madness. I forgot
you.
about that. I do remember the March Madness shit.
And people were livid. They were like, dude, this is so off-brand and so corporate wokeism. And you just know there's DEI executives in these boardrooms. Alicia Hirschfield or whatever was her name. And she got blown the fuck out when this blew up. So did her top chief executive.
Oh, it was a mistake. There's no question about it.
And you know what? It was a tipping point. It was, because there was a lot of things that were happening like this. But in this particular case, the Bud Light fans went, the fuck? No. They weren't having it. And so this, to me, is a very positive sign. Like, all right, yeah, we went too far. Let's get one of your guys' heroes back in where it belongs. And I think we'll see in time. We'll see. But I thought it was offensive to women. I thought it was offensive to trans people. And, the whole Dylan Mulvaney, 200 Days as a Woman, and now we're paying her millions of dollars. She's doing brand fucking sponsorship deals with everything you'd accustom with a lady.
Yeah.
She's doing kitchen stuff and makeup stuff. It was just offensive.
I got a good YouTube comment here
Yeah.
actually from Marcus. It says it wasn't just putting her on a can though. The lady who made the call basically said, "Fuck the frat boys who buy our beer," and that was the biggest issue.
Oh,
for
I
most
forgot
people.
about.
Yep.
Didn't she kind of come out and say it? You're right.
Yeah.
Yep. We need to
forgot about
rehab
that.
our image from the frat boy. 100%. Thank you, Marcus. That's totally right.
And
That is a good point. That's pretty shit.
And that was on camera too. She was proud of that comment, and it was like, bitch, like.
Yeah, you're right.
Yeah.
I kind of forgot about that.
There was more to it.
Cliffa Cook here says, do we not remember the workout line Nike was releasing and Dylan was the spokesperson? It was a cringy fitness video and Dylan was gross.
Yeah.
So there's a lot of people who just didn't like him before and then it got worse.
Yeah. Well, no, that comment, I honestly forgot about that. That's kind of bullshit.
And my dad
for
said,
sure.
"Bring back
No, that
McKenzie."
is. I get it.
So talking about Shane Gillis, if you're not familiar with who he is, I highly recommend checking out his stand-up stuff online or his podcast.
His most
he's
recent
just great.
special on Netflix, Beautiful Dogs, is one of my favorite
It's
stand-ups
great.
of all time.
Yeah, it's great. And the one he did before in the bar in Texas, where it's just him in blue jeans on stage and a bar crowd, and amazing when he's talking about his family and his sister on heroin and taking her to the fucking amusement park. Dude, it's so good.
Dude,
so good.
The story of his uncle with Down syndrome sneaking in grilled cheeses in the restaurants in case
Yeah.
they didn't have grilled cheeses is the funniest fucking thing.
Yeah. Or how about fucking being a coach at the Special Olympics
Yep.
and talking about, you can laugh. It's hilarious. We all know it's hilarious. And he sort of looks like he's got something like,
Yeah.
Shane Gillis looks a little downsy.
dude, he looks downsy and he's like, and I'm the coach. And dude, it's some of the funniest shit ever. It's
I was
definitely
gonna say, I
worth a
guarantee
watch.
he's probably seen something of it. He's huge right now.
I don't watch comedy pretty much.
I know, I know.
But I'm only saying that to say that. I'm not saying as a stand. I just, for whatever reason,
Yeah.
I just don't find it that funny.
Find the clip of him on the
like
airplane.
this. I didn't even know that that's what he looked like.
So doesn't he? You could see how he looks a little downsy.
Yeah, look a little
Pull
familiar.
up
as
the
you
clip
and
on
Jay
the.
might say.
Do you know the one where he's on the airplane and it's going down?
I don't know, but I could probably try and find
Yeah.
it.
Do the one where he's in an airplane that's about to crash. It's a sketch they did. And I'll say, so several clips surfaced in which he used racist, homophobic slurs on numerous occasions on Matt and Shane's Secret Podcast. Gillis and Matt McCusker mocked comedians Judd Apatow and Chris Gethard, referring to them as white faggot comics and fucking gayer than ISIS. I think that's a thing. He likes calling things gayer than ISIS. I've heard him say that.
What's he do now that ISIS isn't around? He needs a new.
That's a reaction. I can't find the actual airplane thing. I think he has that behind some paywall.
Oh, no.
Unless it's just go to his channel.
Yeah, go to his channel. Yeah, you'll find it there. It's got to be on Gillian Keeves. Yeah, it should be them sitting on an airplane.
We'll find it.
Yeah, see if you can find it. So, Gillis is also heard telling McCusker in their conversation that their conversation is nice racism, good racism. That's a funny comment.
I agree.
That's a funny ass comment. And if you know humor at all, you can understand exactly what he's saying there. Like, there's no hatred behind my voice. I'm just making a joke.
Yeah.
That's what I'm saying.
Well, that's obviously not. I mean, amongst the crowd you're talking about, they don't take. There is no jokes.
Right.
That's the thing.
Right.
So amongst the crowd that would be offended by that, I don't know what they think are funny, but it's not probably funny. But you know what I mean? Like the jokes that would be okay with a certain crowd. There's a certain crowd at this point that
it's
obviously
very much like this show.
Yeah.
That just says whatever and then is like, oh, I don't know. But when you have more listeners, more attention, you get cast on SNL.
Yeah.
You're screwed.
I can't believe that didn't, in a way, come through before he got on there. They didn't scrub.
Yeah, that they didn't scrub his stuff. So another clip emerged from September of 2018 in the podcast in which Gillis referred to people living in New York City's Chinatown as fucking chinks. So yeah, that'll get them going. They'll pretend to be outraged by that, like they've never heard that. He also did the Chinese accent. Yes, very good. Stuff like that. He says Chinatown is fucking nuts. Translation between you and the waiter, it's just it's a hassle. It's like, I'm pointing at like this, the fucking noodles. I know exactly what he's talking about. When you go order somewhere and no one.
I'm not even seeing it on their channel. I think they only have season 1 up there. If it's past that,
Really?
yeah.
Well, do the speed dating with Trump. We've
Okay.
done that before. That one's easy to find. Gillis did issue an apology for 10 years of mostly bad comedy. I'm a comedian who pushes boundaries. I sometimes miss. If you go through my 10 years of comedy, most of it bad, you're going to find a lot of bad misses. I'm happy to apologize to anyone who's actually offended by anything I've said. My intention is never to hurt anyone, but I am trying to be the best comedian I can, and sometimes that requires risks.
That's all true.
That's a great statement, and 100% true. 100% true.
And I like
Believe it or not,
some of those comments about I forgot about the frat boy thing. That's
Yeah.
really comes from a I get that. That would piss me off too.
Yeah.
And I'm not a frat boy either, even though I drink Bud Light most of my life. That's mostly been my beer.
Yeah.
I never drank I never liked Coors Light. I never liked Miller Light. I always drank Bud
Heineken
Light.
always tasted skunky.
I always
That's the
did
only one
Bud Light or Stella Artois.
Well, when I say
Stella Artois is great.
and I should
love
say,
Stella.
when I say Bud Light, that's because I'm cheap too. Like I didn't have the money at the bars to get the nicer beer. So like
Yeah,
Bud
but
Light was a
how
cheap.
much cheaper is Bud Light, honestly, than Coors or
No, I mean versus like stepping up. 'Cause to me, there's
Oh,
the three
yeah.
levels. There's Coors Light, Miller Light, Bud Light, and then if you want to go into Stella, then it's like an extra $1, or something. I didn't have that kind of money.
You're always looking to save
I
a
don't have
buck,
that fucking
literally
money.
a buck. All right, you guys want to watch it? You've never seen this Trump speed dating?
No, I haven't. I don't believe.
It's a couple years old now, probably.
Welcome to speed dating. Each of you is going to meet for about 3 minutes. Then you're going to hear this buzzer. Okay? And when that goes off, we're going to move to the next table. Ready to find some love?
They still do this. I've considered trying one of these one time
Yeah.
to see what it would be like.
But watch.
Tana,
What are you doing here?
I was asked to speak at this hotel. It turns out there's some type of pussy banquet going on.
Give me 1 second. Just give me a second.
It's the best Trump
Fuck
impression
you,
of
you
all time.
fucking
See, I
piece of
was-
shit,
well-
ugly, fat, orange, fuck.
Social media. They had to take it away. I was too good. In fact, go ahead, put it back up. Put it back up. People say I've got bad makeup. Tana looks like someone painted her face like a clown. That's what we're gonna call her. Tana, it the clown. She looks like him. She looks like she should be in a sewer, bothering children.
You are utterly disgusting.
I'm disgusting. I saw you walk in. I said, "Who's this? Is this a pig?" I didn't know they were letting pigs in.
You're a dictator.
Old Sage, what a loser. What a loser she was. Somebody needs to tell her that her pussy stinks. When you walked in, I could practically smell you. Your vagina stinks. Smelled
You know
up
what?
the whole room.
No one here is gonna go on a date with you.
There'll be no problem there. I'll get a date.
You won't.
There's gonna be so many dates. People, whoa, this guy has so many dates. You, none. I don't even need a date, but I'll get a date if I want a date. You can go on Tinder. Have you heard of this? There's Tinder. You go beep boop bop, and there's pussy.
This is pretty exciting. I've never been on a date with a white guy before.
Hit the buzzer.
I mean, I'm just wondering what it would be like with something a little smaller.
Let me stop you there, Elaine.
I don't know who sat in this chair before me, but it stinks.
I told her.
Any interest?
You're gay.
Hey, blame the dairy industry.
I would never suck a guy's dick. But if I did, it'd be one of the best sucks he's ever had. A few years ago, women would have the flat butts. Not you. You've got a very nice one.
Thank you.
You know, I polled very well with the blacks. How am I polling with you? I saw you come in. I said, that's the one. The belle of the ball. You're the prettiest one.
I'm gonna be completely honest with you here. I'm not that interested in
You're the ugliest. Do me a favor. Could you take your gigantic perfect tits and leave? I don't recall saying I would get a date here, but if I did say that, maybe I will.
Oh my god.
This chick.
Hello.
Oh, yeah. Just the salute.
Yeah.
Oh my God.
Do you like my shirt? I got it dyed at the special at the tackle shop. There's a 2-for-1 at the tackle shop, the bait and tackle. I can get you one. It's 2 for 1.
Wow.
How are you, Mr. President?
Well,
I'm great, especially since you exposed all the Jews that were putting 5G in my brain that wanted the meth.
how are you at oral sex?
Pretty good, to be honest. My teeth come out.
Siobhan, how would you like to go on a date with Donald Trump?
Yes, finally. Oh my God, I won. Did I win?
I win.
I got head.
Isn't that
What was
great?
this on?
Gillian Keeves.
No. But
Internet.
Just okay.
Yeah, it's his own show.
Okay.
It's at his website right there, GillianKeeves.tv,
Nice.
to give him a little plug.
Yeah. Gillian Keeves. What is it? Gillian Keeves TV?
Yep.
Yeah, it's fantastic. That wasn't that great?
Yeah, no, that was great. That was
Dude,
funny.
They have one where he's in the plane and it starts to go down.
Yeah.
And so the pilot's like, prepare for crash and landing. And it's like, if you got a phone, you want to reach out to a loved one, and people are like leaving messages like, oh my God, I love you and I'll never forget you. And he leaves a message and he's like, listen here, you motherfucker, I'll be down in 10 minutes and I'll beat your fucking ass. He's like going on, and people
funny.
are looking at him like, wait, he's like, what, you think I'm gonna call my fucking wife? Tell her I love her? Fuck that. He's like,
seen that
I'm
recently.
gonna tell enemies that I'm gonna be down in a minute and kick their fucking ass. Meet me in the pilot.
Right.
And so the whole plane starts making calls.
Yeah.
You've seen that.
It's a good concept. Dude.
Oh my God.
No, you're right,
it's
because
great.
it's like you assume that you're not, you're gonna die. So
Yeah,
all your enemies
yeah.
are just gonna be sitting there
Yeah.
fucking
And one of the best parts about Shane Gillis' comedy, I think why Bud Light picked him specifically, is because
Yeah.
he doesn't go right or left. He's straight up in the middle, and he
Yeah.
makes fun of everyone.
Yeah. And
that is a good move. I mean, for sure.
And it's very funny talking about his Fox News dad, but if you got a
Yep.
Fox News mom, that's fucking gross and weird, and and
That's the one on the Trump date.
what's that?
That's the one. From
Yeah. He's hitting on all strides. He really is. So I think this is a good move. It doesn't mean I'm going to run out and buy Bud Light, but I think a lot of people will. I really do. We'll see. We'll know.
I think that it probably will. I don't know. I just think the worthlessness to me of fucking not buying Bud Light because of this shit. It's like nothing's gonna affect shit.
Isis, you have a tendency to let shit roll that me personally, like when I get all worked up about stuff, I honestly believe that there are people pulling strings right now with a very, very strong plan.
Oh, I agree. That's the funny thing. I always said this. I think you and me agree. I just don't fucking care.
I don't think it's funny. I don't think it's smart. I think it's destructive. I think it's unhealthy. I think it's cancer, is what I think. And I think it's going to take what was billed by this nation. It didn't always get it perfect, obviously, but billed as this trial, and it's a young nation, and like to throw that all away with no fucking plan in place. And
I think there's a plan in place.
Well, if you're talking, it depends.
Yeah.
If you're talking about just America, there's not. But when you're talking about globalists, there is.
Oh yeah, I think there is.
Yeah, there is. You're right about that. But I mean the morons, the useful idiots that are, we're gonna.
They're just pawns too, dude. All the government, all of our fucking senators and shit.
Fully
they're just
aware of
pawns
that.
too, dude.
Fully aware of that. But those people think they're on some right side.
Yeah.
And they don't have a plan. Like, just tear it all down. Tear up the Constitution and Declaration and start over.
Oh, yeah.
And it's like, okay, well, what's your plan? They don't have one. Now, they're never going to get to implement that plan because those will be the first ones eliminated when the globalists take over. So they're playing a losing game.
Exactly. No, they're a fucking person that thinks they're on the right. You're right. They think they're on the right side. They think, I'm going to get fucking my bonus when this all comes, and they're going to be fucking nicks too, because they're not in the elite. Yeah. They're not fucking creating the fucking new world order.
No, no.
They're being used to do it.
Yeah.
But they're not going to.
Useful idiots. It's the greatest term ever invented. Useful idiots. You don't even know how stupid you are.
I think that my thing is, I know you know this. It's not that revolutionary. I just not trying to be like YOLO, but I'm just not going to change shit. And the reality is, I could get in a car.
With that attitude.
I could get in a car crash tomorrow, and all my fucking shit that I did to make my life hard. Although the funny thing is, I do all the green shit.
Yeah,
which doesn't help
I was just going to say.
anything.
So you're recycling.
Well, I picked battles, but I also don't talk about it to anybody. I just kind of. If we didn't do a podcast, you wouldn't know. Because I try to be the person that says we should care, but I don't do it outside of this.
Yeah.
If you run into me at the
you're not
mall,
one of those
I don't walk around and
obnoxious.
I don't like wag my finger at people that are fucking throwing food away.
Yeah, no, you don't do that.
You're right, though. I've just picked my thing that I personally care about, and that's, I think, all you can do as a human. You got to pick one or two. You've picked yours that you care more about than other things, I guess.
Which is my thing?
Whatever this is, the whole political shit.
Yeah, some of it. Well, I think it speaks to a country, and I think it's very disturbing to a lot of people, and I fully understand.
But you could argue, I would say, I could argue if I wanted to care more, I could do exactly what you do, except with the environment stuff. If I wanted to,
I don't think you could.
I think I could. I think that, yeah.
We'll see. You'll probably do one at some point.
I don't, but I'm not going to, who am I?
Welcome to the environment.
I like it. Anything with the E in it.
The environment.
The environment
with big E.
I mean, whatever.
The problem is you got to do a lot of research for that shit.
Oh, I know. I'm
not
going to. I'm certainly not going to.
I'm not doing that either.
Obviously.
You know, I just kind of giggle because it all fails miserably, all of these things, because you, as the peon, are never going to fix the world's issue with plastics. You're just not.
I know.
And you know that. And so it's the same thing. I've got a story in here about vegans. And the vegan industry is dying on the fucking vine.
Yeah.
And this food is way worse for you. It's horrible for you. It's loaded with way more carbohydrates. And it's like they're all falling off the vine, dying, going away. Because it's way fucking harder to try to live like that. And people are like, yeah, I tried. I gave it a week.
You know what sucks about that, to be honest with you, is like some of those people, their thing against meat, you know, in reality, even meat, like eating chicken and shit, like I do eat chicken and stuff. I can understand why people don't like how our meat is given it to us.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Because the meat we eat at fucking Kroger and shit is also
free range.
No, it's also terrible too,
played
dude.
with and petted and they walk free.
Good for you. It's all fucking like the reality is like to eat meat, you got to fucking go to an actual, if you really want to eat healthy, you got to find your own actual small farm butcher.
Yeah.
And that's where you need to get your hamburger. Because the shit I get from fucking Kroger and stuff isn't any better.
I don't know.
I got bad news for you. I worked as a butcher for 5 years. Even those fancy stores, they're getting the same stuff as Kroger.
Yeah,
no.
That's what
I'm talking about. Like you go to a person.
Yeah, you
like,
have to go to a specific butcher.
Like there's a place up north I know by fucking Mackinac where it's like legitimately they fucking cook they grow the fucking shit, the animals, they kill them, they process them. Yeah. That's what I'm talking about. Not even going to Whole Foods.
That's
or
not
shit.
Scalable.
No,
That's
I know it's
problem.
not. I know it's not.
So that's cute if you live in some uppity Northern California town or Mackinac. You know, you go to Napa, you might be able to find that, but scalability, forget it.
No. My point is that even like the people, the vegans are fucking talking about. I believe animals are there for us to fucking eat. I could, if your beef with animals is eating animals is just like, oh, we shouldn't be eating animals. That's fucking stupid.
Yeah,
if your thing is that our food system is garbage, then that's technically right. You just can't do much about it.
The way I deal with it, and it's the only way I know how to deal with it, is to go, la, 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 I don't see anything. I don't see anything. Because when I see a clip of chicksons all like fucking, they live their entire life.
I know.
There's 100 of them in a cage, 1 foot by 1 foot. And I'm like, oh my God. But it's why I'm not a fucking scientist. I remember going to Derek's lab at, when he was at U of M in undergrad and then at U of D, I believe is where he got his medical. But, that dude was fucking doing shit to mice every day, every fucking day. You'd go in there and here's this absolute hippie with a tie-dyed fucking lab coat. And he's just grabbing rats and mice and fucking poking them full of this. And I wonder what, and it's like, I couldn't do it. I understand. I mean, I believe Elon Musk is getting a bunch of shit today for like 1,500 monkeys or something that they were doing stuff. And it's like the monkeys are depressed for Neuralink. And monkeys are depressed and they're vomiting and they're cutting off limbs. And they're making them in pain and they're missing limbs. And I'm like, oh, man. But I know so.
Oh, it's very hypocritical.
There's a lot of horrific shit in all those industries. And it's like, well, I mean, I wish we could just test shampoos on Eezus, but we can't. There's not enough Eezuses in the world. Well, we need to do it on bunny rabbits. I'm sorry.
I would admit it that I'm super hypocritical about eating animals. I don't believe if I had to go out and fucking hunt my own food, I certainly wouldn't want to do it.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? I wouldn't want to shoot a fucking deer and then eat it.
No, I know.
But I will eat it. But that's hypocritical in reality.
I do have respect to people that do that because there's a lot of people.
I do too.
It's very time consuming. It's dangerous. It's expensive to go out and hunt your own food, but you can make one kill and stuff your freezer for a year with meat.
Got hunters in the family, and I work with a lot of hunters. Those guys will go out one winter, get maybe 1-2 deer if they're lucky. And that will feed their whole family for the winter.
For the year.
Yeah.
Like, my buddy that was.
I know Rogan does a lot of that with elk hunting and stuff, and it's like, dude, you take down I don't know if it's a caribou or a elk, but those things are fucking huge, and it'll put meat in your freezer for a year, and it's like, that's unbelievable. But it's like, am I going to do that?
No.
Am I going out in the woods dressed like that and sit there for fucking a week and count my breaths and shoot
not
some
just that, dude.
animal?
I'm telling you, I don't
think
think it's so hypocritical because I don't think I could fucking hold the gun and shoot a fucking animal.
No, I couldn't either.
Even though I'll fucking eat them.
Yeah.
It's so hypocritical in reality, but it is what it is.
It is. There's something to seeing it. You know,
Well, I think that
there's a visual aspect of it where it's like, don't even tell me, man, because it doesn't look like a beautiful chicken or a cow when it's in the middle of a burger bun.
it doesn't.
It doesn't at all, and it's got lettuce and veggies. It's almost like it was meant to be there.
That's what it is. That's how they were born.
It's like, look at that,
like a
Rubes.
patty.
Look at that, Rubes. If that burger moved once, I'd be like, never again.
Oh no, it got a little even dicey too, because part of that was the fish side of the meat and seafood markets I worked in. It's like part of that is like
I could never.
You could see them looking back at you. We get sharks and stuff, and it's like you could see them looking right back at your eyes inside all the teeth of there. I'm like, it looks alive, and I gotta get in there with a knife and start digging out steaks.
Yeah, dude. See, I don't know how people do that, butchers.
It's do it.
Like the whole fish thing. I feel like leave the ocean alone.
What it
man.
was to me-
We've already fucked up the planet. Leave the ocean alone. But that's easy for me to say because I hate fish.
Well, what it was to me that kind of helped is like every piece we got in or anything that we cut up was sold and fed. I mean, that was the goal. And sometimes you get stuff that gets old, doesn't get sold. But the goal was it was going.
That's
to
a
get
big
fed to
problem.
somebody. Yeah.
What you just mentioned in the vegan world.
Yeah.
Is that a lot of that shit goes
There's
bad
a lot of
and
waste.
they had way more than they could sell and then they just throws it away.
No, you can't do anything else with it.
Well, that's what happens
No.
at fucking Meijer and Kroger too. You know, Kroger always advertises. How do you? When they're always like, "Oh, we got everything fresh." You know why? Because you throw shit away every fucking day. Because we all need strawberries every. I need them. I need them. I need
right.
them.
Strawberries with that little cake and whipped cream. Oh, I
You need
love
that
it.
shit, but it needs to be
Need
fresh.
Need
And they throw it.
And it's
got to
be fresh. It's gross, man. But you know, I used to pick strawberries as a little kid, $2 an hour, or something
Nice.
like that. Yeah,
Nice.
And I got fired right away because we were probably 10 and got into that we were supposed to pick tomatoes and we got into a tomato fight in the field. And it was like, all right, you clowns, get out of here. But yeah, you know, and I don't know.
The problem is you are when you said about the not sustainable. You're right. We're at such a mass level of people that you can't all be fed, unfortunately, by family farms and shit. It's just not really possible.
The idea that they're talking about, we mentioned it yesterday, and it's true. There's enough videos out there of these world leaders and global elitists talking about, well, we really need to rid the world of 7 billion people, and it's like,
oh yeah,
if we could get down, like there are people that are like, well, I guess we just kill ourselves, like. Who picks, who goes, and
I'm good.
This is satanic, evil shit you're talking about.
And you know the real reason, I meant to say this the other day we were talking about, the reason they want to cut it down, it is, I don't believe the planet's not sustainable with this amount of people. You look at some people and they say, there is shitloads of empty spaces. We could all live on farms if we wanted to. No one wants to do that. But I'm saying we could do that.
I don't know that you could. You could because you can't farm all of Canada or Russia. The biggest open land on planet Earth, you couldn't farm.
Well,
you couldn't do it.
Maybe you could, maybe you couldn't. My main thing was
no. I'm telling you, you couldn't. You get up into the Yukon and all of Russia. That is fucking barren Iceland, dude. You're not.
Well, I think we could do more than we do. My main point was going to be those. Really, the reason I think those people want to eliminate the 3 or 4 billion people they want is not because it's necessarily
7 billion.
Okay, 7 billion. Jesus
7.5.
Christ. So they only want a billion left.
Half a million. Or I mean, $500 million. Yeah,
that's allowed. $500 million is left.
Yep.
Okay.
That's what what's his name said.
Bill Gates.
Bill Gates. Thank
So
you.
the reason they want that though is so they can literally keep doing the things that we all love.
Yeah.
Eating fucking steaks, eating fucking getting beer, getting like all the shit we like.
Yep.
They just want it and not have to feel bad about it.
Yeah.
And how not have to feel bad about it is to kill fucking 7 billion people.
Yeah.
So they're like, oh, this is fine.
Yeah.
As if they wouldn't just, by the way, start
And
fucking
they know,
and reproducing again.
They know they're better than you. They know they're better human beings than you.
Oh, I don't
you don't
think they
bring
even
anything to society.
I agree with that. Yeah.
You're just a wandering around. You look at an ant farm. You are the wandering ant, just fucking taking up space and eating and shitting every day to them.
No, I would argue that they're not even better humans than us. If you get to the higher levels, they don't even consider us that.
No.
We're literally indispensable fucking...
Not indispensable. We're
fucking
absolutely dispensable.
Yeah, they don't care.
Yeah.
Anyway, sorry.
No, you're good. The vegan fast food restaurants, what an oxymoron that is.
I just saw a meme today, by the way, that said, or not a meme, but like it was in my Simpsons group, but it was like, apparently some vegan restaurant stays alive by selling meat. You know what I mean? Like it's like that's what they have to do. They're like,
that's true.
Yeah, I know.
Like that's not a meme.
Oh, I know.
That's part of this story.
Oh shit. Okay.
Yeah.
You're about to go.
Yeah. So this one covers what's going on in the UK. A lot of what's going on in the UK is will be here soon enough. But so there's this chain backed by Lewis Hamilton, Leonardo DiCaprio, closed half its branches. Another shop was forced to sell meat. in order to stay afloat, the declining popularity of veganism could
What
lead
do
to
they
more
say?
vegan restaurants.
I wonder when they make the
going
press
under.
release. You know what I mean? What does the press release say, or what do how they justify it?
I've got a list of all these ones that have gone away and all their cute little names.
Yeah.
And they're pretty honest about it. It's kind of interesting. Neat Burger, backed by Leo and Lewis Hamilton, closed half their London sites in December, while a vegan restaurant in Cheshire has been forced to start serving meat. Beyond Meat also revealed it's suffering more losses. The company's revenue's been falling down to just $330 million this year. It was $461 million in 21. Beyond Meat CEO Ethan Brown told investors the company is struggling to appeal to new customers because of perceptions that their plant protein-based meat alternatives are overly processed and unhealthy.
The perceptions or the reality?
The reality, exactly.
Well, it goes back to yesterday with the categories in HBO and stuff like that. You're just kind of singling out the most minority group of people and then going, why doesn't everyone like us? I'm like, maybe because you're catering to a minority.
Yeah, a big-time minority.
Well, I would argue, by the way, some of the food is really not that bad, but just when you look at it, it's not really that healthy for you. That's my only point. Like, I honestly, God, there's Impossible Burgers. There's some really fucking good Impossible Burgers because I was trying it for a while.
Did you try it?
Yeah, I
the
remember,
Impossible Whopper.
Dude, I'm telling you, we never really talked about it on the show, Mike. But when I had the B12 thing that I had at one point, I am now very certain that came.
Jesus was B12 deficient
for a little bit there. Yeah, I was having a problem with B12.
A lot of people are.
But I look back on it and 100% think it's because in my mind, I was starting to try to get a more plant-based protein diet. I felt like it seemed like a good thing. I got fooled in the end. And there could have been other factors, but I think that was a big factor in the end. Once I fucking...
What, that screwed with your B12?
No, that I stopped eating red meat completely and didn't give myself any substitute for it. Because people that do
so
that,
you think stopping eating red meat affected your B12 in the negative?
100%.
Okay, yeah,
because
that could be.
B12 red meat is get a lot of B12 from red meat.
Yeah.
And I fucking cut out almost everything that was where I would have been getting my B12 and not substituting it with anything.
Yeah. Yeah.
So people, if you're going to do a vegan, and you can talk to any vegan, if you're going to do an actual vegan diet, you have to look into other shit to supplement the stuff.
Yeah, of course.
So it's like, but they don't,
Yeah.
So the point is, I tried it. There are some good shit, but it's not healthy for you. It's not any better for you.
I'm trying to think of other industries.
So much sodium, so much, like you said, processed.
Sodium, yeah, a lot of carbohydrates. I'm trying to think of another industry that's trying to do really good, but they don't make you feel like a piece of shit for it. That's always been my problem. Not so much vegetarians.
Yeah.
Vegetarians, there's lots of options and whatnot.
Vegans are fucking obnoxious.
Vegans are obnoxious. And not all of them. I don't want to blanket. You're like, oh, all these people are X, because they're not. But so many of them are. There's just an air of smugness. It reminds me of the South Park when they moved Kyle's family to San Francisco, and they've got wine glasses. They're farting into the wine glass.
Yeah.
And sniffing. Like these people are so fucking smug. They're just sniffing on their own farts, and it rings true. That's how those people feel. You feel like you're under attack.
Oh, yeah.
And I don't know another industry that's quite like that has that air of smugness about them. I guess cyclists.
I mean, you could argue the green people, for sure.
Yeah, but...
It's not as maybe everybody. I mean, there's a lot of people that are into or into like a green idea of not being too in your
The problem
face
is people are fooled into think they're making a difference. And that's where it's like, you fucking sheeple, stop it. You're not. You're
but I'm saying,
you never were the problem.
But if you're looking for other people who are smug, I would say some people that are into that are pretty smug about
recycling,
being green. Yeah,
maybe.
I don't. The people driving their fucking
I was
Prius
gonna say, there
or
is
the
a thing with,
Tesla.
like Priuses, and
Yeah,
Teslas,
yeah.
especially Tesla owners, where they're like, "I'm better than you because my car isn't polluting the environment." I'm like,
Right.
meanwhile, have you looked up how they make those lithium-ion
Oh
batteries?
my
Because it's
God.
a lot of child slave labor and pollution.
Or the fact that they do studies that it's better just
and
to
you're
hold
going to
on
run out of the precious metals. The
Yeah.
Earth doesn't have the precious metals.
Not to
needed
mention
do
California's having a big problem with brownouts because their power grid can't hook up to all
Yeah,
the cars
all
that
the
they're
cars.
demanding people drive, so you have to have,
Yeah.
like, what is it, 10-minute rolling power brownouts around California?
Oh, yeah. Dude, they're crazy. You'll be in the middle of the afternoon, and all of a sudden, it's like the fucking power's out for 20 minutes or 10 minutes.
Well,
and you're
Mike
just like,
knows this as
what?
much as anybody. You spend a lot of time in California, but I
Yeah.
remember joking with my buddies when you're driving through LA because it's like you got the fucking the fucking carpool lane. LA is the worst of people that are going to fucking tell you how terrible you are for the environment. I'm like, where are all these people? Why are all these people in single cars?
Yeah.
Why aren't they fucking sharing? Because they don't want to fucking do that.
Hell no, they don't. Those smug assholes. Are you?
We just got joking about that because we were in the fucking carpool lane because we had 3 of us and we were like, no one's in there.
Yeah.
No one's in the fucking carpool lane.
Yeah. Vegan Boulevard is a restaurant, had been voted one of the top 10 vegan restaurants in the country for its decadent take on vegan food. Their dishes included the cutting-edge 3D printed steak.
Oh, that's
Sounds
bad.
delicious.
That's bad.
Sounds delicious.
I'm in.
A filet-o fish burger, PHISH. Is that like the hippie band Fish, I'm assuming?
Oh, maybe, yeah.
And vegan whippy ice cream. The restaurant collapsed under pressure, financial pressure in 23. Some of that is probably on
3D meat. I've heard about it.
Yeah,
that's
that
fucking.
just
How could you,
sounds-
in your mind, tell yourself that that's better for you?
Yeah.
How could you, in your mind, sit there and be like, no, a computer printing my meat is absolutely better than real thing. The
no,
real
I don't
thing.
buy it. Marshall got a small 3D printer for Christmas.
How? I still don't understand how they work. To be honest with you, they're
it's
so
fucking
crazy.
sick.
My brother's got one.
Does he?
Yeah,
They're
you want some
fucking-
little
they're
printer,
insane.
cool. They're like $100 on Amazon. All you do is you put in a little program. A lot of times you can
Yeah.
design them, but there's
Yeah.
people who just put them up online. You download the files and they'll print your little thing in plastic.
Fucking
Yeah.
crazy, dude.
So he got one. It's got like a string of the plastic shit on the back, and it's like this clear box that you can like see in, and it just
yeah.
you know, and it just prints it out layer by layer. And the next day, Marshall sent me a video of him, and he's like, he's holding like this handle, and it's got like a hand guard, you know, and then he's just like, woof, and it's a whole sword, and he's like, I 3D printed this.
That's cool.
And it's like he in parts, and it's just like snapped it all
wild,
together, and
dude.
now he's got. And I'm like, holy shit!
But when you're making 3D steaks, what are you putting in there?
I don't know.
Like, what is it? What is?
It's like a film of just protein and DNA. It's
That
like kind of
sounds-
the
Is that
same,
what it
like,
is? Is
it's-
that what they're doing?
It's pretty much like that. It's kind of just like a synthetic meat that they've made by growing cells into meat cells that you would eat, basically. Through I don't know how they do it exactly. It's like
But what's like? I still don't understand. Isn't something there
so
before?
on the,
they-
at least this 3D
And it doesn't
printer.
come out looking like a steak. It's not like they're printing an actual steak.
Can you
it comes
put a-
out like a pink mush that they cook.
Could you find like
Oh,
a picture of what
is that what they do?
A 3D printed steak would look like? Because how
He's
could that
probably
be-
right. Didn't South Park do something on this?
It was something
where
like
it was
that.
like goop. It was like, and once Cartman figured out it was absolutely horrible for you, and it was just fucking green goop. He was like, I'm fine. Serve me that. It's just as bad as every other meat.
But it's making it look like steak a little bit, but you can clearly tell it's like it's like ground beef that they press to make look like a steak.
Yeah.
Oh no, dude, no.
There you go.
So that-
there's it being made right there.
So they marbled it and everything.
Yep, they added white and red.
If you're doing this to me, you're at a point where like you think you care so much about like your. It is not just eat a fucking real steak.
Yeah.
What is the? Are you fucking? You're kidding yourself.
Does anyone have any opinion? Like, is this decent at all? Has anyone tried this?
I hate it. I will
Have
say
you tried
I
it?
probably converted some vegans maybe, but back again being a butcher, we started selling Beyond Meat. It was a big thing we were supposed to promote at one
Yeah.
of the stores, and I cooked it up, cooked it just regular medium rare, just little burger bites, whatever. People could take them as they walk by. I tried one. It was cat food.
Really?
I'm telling you,
Worst
you know,
thing I've had.
But I swear to God, I'm not trying to say this. I have had now Beyond Meat is not Impossible Meat. Is
Yeah,
that
see,
different?
Impossible Burger is a different brand. Maybe they got a better formula, but
I
it's
am
all
telling-
just soybean based.
I have
Yeah.
had an Impossible Burger, like a few for real that I really liked.
Like the Impossible Whopper, and I don't know, maybe it was just good marketing, but people were like, I literally can't taste the difference. And maybe it's because they got mayo and ketchup and pickles.
Well,
and lettuce and
they put
tomatoes
a bunch
and
of fucking
onions.
chemicals in there to make it taste.
Yeah.
I mean, so I mean, look, I don't eat them anymore, and I think it's ridiculous. I kind of went back, obviously. I'm just saying I have had Impossible Burgers at a restaurant that I legit like. This is fucking good. I'm just saying.
Yeah.
That. But that steak looks fucking no way.
Yeah.
No way.
Hold on, they have 3D printed Wagyu.
Oh, sure they do.
You want some fancy steak?
Oh my God.
I've seen Wagyu. It doesn't look like that.
No, it doesn't. Yeah.
Just eat the real thing.
That's one of those things where you find out in 20 years, like, oh yeah, that was horrible for you. That did nothing but cause problems.
Yep.
It's one of those things. It's so in its infancy. Like, I have no interest. I don't want to eat a bug burger. I don't want to eat a fucking any of that stuff. I just don't.
What
You
do
know,
mean
and
this doesn't look
maybe
appetizing to you?
No, that looks horrible.
It gets worse as I scroll.
Yeah, that's terrible. So, another one closed here. Let's see. Chef Charbel Hayak at Eat Well, E-E-E-E-T Well. See, they're catchy names. The food world is changing. We've seen vegan restaurants closing and fast food chains dropping vegan items. But at Eat Well, we see this shift as a chance to really think about what eating well means. What's happening in the vegan world isn't about vegan food losing its spark. It's about people wanting more than just a meat substitute. They want real food that's good for them, food that respects our planet. It's about making sure every bite tells a story of care, quality, and respect for our earth. Yeah, great. That's adorable.
You can do that with real meat.
Again, scalability is your problem. I'm sorry. It just is. You know, blame McDonald's and Henry Ford for the assembly line. The assembly line concept was brought to McDonald's in the 50s, 40s, whatever it was. And that's where that assembly line process where you could churn shit out came from. And so, you know, otherwise it was just what your local neighborhood did, what your local, that's why people had very specific cooking ideas because of what was growable in their area, their town. Like, that's what you did. Now, all of a sudden, you had abilities to ship this shit all over the world, but scalability is an issue with all of this stuff. When you're talking about every bite needs to be cared for and blah, blah, no one's got time for that. No one. You can have your little trendy, boutique-y, fucking super expensive French Laundry restaurant with all the 3D printed meat you want. But until you're able to scale that, I don't know how you do it. And I'll be honest with you, I don't want to eat it. So
no, I don't.
That's just me. Shokef Hejazi, food trend expert. Ooh, so he's eating a lot of food. From the Food People, said interest in veganism is still present, but it is certainly changing and evolving. People are increasingly put off by plant-based products that use lots of unrecognizable ingredients to mimic meat. Instead, people are looking to celebrate vegetables in their natural glory rather than an alternative to meat products, recognizing popular dishes such as broccoli steaks, buffalo cauliflower, and portobello mushroom burgers. Yeah, I'm gonna take a hard pass on those personally.
Honestly, I don't mind those. Those are all fine because I dated a vegan back in the day. And, so when we went out to a restaurant, actually, this is the guy Brandon the E with in Royal Oak. But
okay.
This is one of those things where it's like we've gotten to a couple of vegan restaurants, and every time I was like, there was something on the menu I could get that wasn't bad. Like there was always like pierogies, but the cheese was made with some kind of vegan cheese.
Yeah, it was
fine.
gross.
It wasn't bad.
Yeah, it was horrible. Yeah, and I know that because Beth and I used to fight about this.
Oh boy,
a lot, because she got more like when I first started dating her, she would do chicken.
Yep.
And so we could do kebabs with great vegetables and all kinds of stuff. And then it just got progressively worse. And it was like when she was just vegetarian, it was like, all right, we can go to any restaurant. There's always vegetarian options. When she started wanting to go exclusively to vegan, like, let's go to this vegan restaurant, it's new. Will you take me there? And I was like, no. And I don't mean to be a dick, but go there with one of your vegan weirdo friends.
Yeah.
If I'm paying for it and I'm taking you, there better be something on the menu that's edible to me. Because if I take you to the nicest steakhouse in town, there's a fucking vegan option for you.
Yeah.
There's a veggie option for you. There is no option for me at one of these places. I'm not doing it. So when people want to go for sushi, I'm like, fine, I don't eat fish, but they've always got a chicken dish I'll eat. So I'm good. That's fine as long as there's something there for me. But if I'm paying for the fucking meal, no, I'm not going to a vegan-only restaurant. Sorry. And maybe that makes me an asshole. I don't know.
No, my only problem with the vegans is once they get into fake meat, it's too far.
It's
never good. It never comes out right, and you can always tell it's just bean paste.
Yeah, it looks like it. Vegan Boulevard. Anyone want to go to Vegan Boulevard? They closed in 2020. Plant Hustler. They closed in October of 2020. Donner Summer closed in March 23. Vads, takeaway that paved the way for vegan junk food, closed July 23rd. Frost Burger, vegan burger restaurant, closed September 22. One of the first and most popular vegan eateries closed its doors in December 22. That would be VRev. Vegan Kind, the UK's biggest online supermarket dedicated to plant-based products, ceased operations in November 22. Yep, couldn't deal with it. Heck, you guys heard of Heck? It's Yorkshire-based sausage company. Heck cut its vegan range from 10 products to 2. Even Innocent, it's a drinks company, has scrapped its dairy-free milk range after joking, literally 5 people bought.
But I really still, I don't kind of keep trying to do this. I don't know why some of this bugs you so much, though. So they tried it. It's not working. And now it's going away.
But I'm reporting that it's not working.
But
we're just
why?
It's kind of funny. I think it's hilarious that this is a massive global push. And then these guys do it. And they spend all this time, all this money. They're rated. They're Michelin chef rated. All this shit. This is voted the top 5 restaurant in the world. Well, was it? Because it closed its doors.
Well, I don't get who gives a shit about any of those ratings. I mean,
I think a lot of people do. Lots of people
Not so much
do.
Michelin stars, but I'll check a Yelp before I hit a restaurant that I've never been to before.
Yeah, a lot of people do.
Huh.
And so when you're talking about, voted best,
I don't got to eat. So
That's fair.
when shit is voted, like, that's a very prestigious thing to be like one of the top 10 restaurants in a country or in a state. Like, that's no bullshit. That's exclusive company. That's rare air. And it's like, oh, was it? Or was this propaganda? I don't know. Maybe it's a little of both, but it closed after a year. This company says, yeah, we make these specialty vegan milkshake drinks, and people bought 5 of them. So we're closed now. They didn't want them. So we're making dairy ones now because they taste good and people want them. Nestle's pulled 2 of their brands from shops due to lack of demand. Oatly has withdrawn its dairy-free ice cream in Britain. Meatless farms are going under. So and I don't mean to offend you, E.
it doesn't really offend me.
It sounds like it does. And that's okay. It's my show. I can do that.
I just don't. Well, whatever. It's the same. I think it's the same argument the Bud Light thing. I've gotten. Unfortunately,
I thought the Bud Light was a good conversation, and you came around to it, and
I would just say,
understood it.
Unfortunately, I guess I've gone to this place in my world where I've just. I don't know.
That's
all
okay.
happening how it
That's a
happens.
great attitude for a talk show host. Awesome. Have no interest in anything going on in the world. It's perfect.
I do have an interest in it. I don't. Well, never mind.
I've always treated the show more like that thing happened. Let's laugh and then move on.
Yeah,
that's what it is. It's
yeah,
like,
exactly.
There's just the news. Let's laugh and get on with it.
Exactly.
It's like a better way to process the information that's going on in the world.
Yeah, let's have a little fun at its expense and move on. Who cares?
It beats
I
somebody
could have
saying
done
that
more
that's-
trans stories. I could do immigration stories. I got a doctor that jacked off on a plane. I got
That's funny to me.
Fine, we'll do that one.
I'm just kidding. I'm kidding.
I've got a
man.
veteran
the jerk-off story.
Veteran who smashed the satanic statue in Iowa State Capitol's charged with a hate crime. No charges for the Dem staffer, and I got a take on this too, who filmed gay sex in the Senate.
Yeah, I heard about that one.
Yeah, that doesn't make your community look great when they're doing that. But I will say, so we'll start with the gay sex, okay? And I'm not looking at you for any particular reason, Garrett.
I know, you pointed at me.
I just glanced over at him.
He's gay.
So Capitol Police
Everyone laugh.
announced.
Right.
Now, I started thinking about this story. I remember when the story came out. Now, here's where my I don't know what would you call it? Like if I have any level of homophobic in my system, or show like, yeah, maybe you don't think everything's the same everywhere, even if it's an unconscious bias. This is where I have to look in the mirror and go, fuck, I wonder why I felt that way. Because if this story was about some dude who banged some chick in the Senate, I'd be like, hell yeah, dog, go get it. Go get it. So I wonder if, why would I, and I don't, the more I thought about it, because I thought about it quite a bit today, and I was like, well, I don't. It's the same fucking thing.
Yeah.
But why do they have to put in there, Capitol Police say no charges for Democrat staffer, they got to throw that in there, who filmed gay sex in Senate office building? Doesn't that story still work if it's just like who filmed sex in Senate building?
That was the original story. It was just staffer. I don't think I ever knew it was a Democrat until just now.
Yeah. But do they have to throw in gay sex? By throwing in gay sex, does it sound more deviant? Is it just simply reporting the facts?
I think it gets a certain group riled up.
Yeah.
They're putting that in there because that's what's going to get the clicks.
Right.
It's a couple of buzzwords like Democrat, gay, and now you got a lot of people who are like, I hate those
This
people.
is, I knew this is what they do.
I knew they were all
They would
queer.
take our respected institutions and do their gay sex.
Which they would never care about heteros. Like you said, if some senator was banging a chick and they'd be like,
dude, I personally know a senator that got caught banging a chick in one of those, and it's like, hell yeah, dog, go get it.
Right.
And he lost a gig, and it sucks, but,
No, he did what he did.
But I'm like, yeah, dude, I think if I worked in the Capitol building, I might try to fuck some broad in there.
Of course they all are.
You know what I mean?
To.
You think I never got laid in the radio station? Are you fucking mental? Of course I did.
Right.
Now, are we supposed to hold higher, the Senate chambers? And is this, right. It is kind of like, I guess. Do I want these clowns walking around like, hey, yeah, let's just fucking piss in the corner? No, I don't. But at the same time, probably not the first dude that's banged in the Capitol. But yeah. But I gotta think that by throwing in gay sex, does it need to be in there? Is that part of the story? You're part of the community. Do you think it's relevant to the story to say that it was gay sex in this? Because it doesn't really. There's not really a difference between gay. I mean, obviously there's
it's
a little
not
bit
relevant to the story, but it does get it a lot more attention.
Right.
So that's why they put it in there. So it's like, yes, it's not relevant, but I also see why they did it because now we're talking about it like that.
Of course. But doesn't having sex in there come up? Because this is a great opportunity for these people that act like, oh, I'm okay with everything. Everybody's welcome. I want trans everything. I want gay everything. I'm part of the alphabet mafia. Like those people, if you don't mention gay sex and you just say sex, and then the reporters come and they go, wait a minute, so Bill was banging Dan in the Senate?
Yeah.
Then you've got this great opportunity to go, and the problem with that is?
Right.
I didn't notice the sex between them. Why is that important to you? Reuters? Why is that important to you? Washington Free Beacon? Why does that matter? That yes, sex is being had in one of the rooms. It's inappropriate. It was filmed. We're going to take disciplinary action. But why are you focused on the gay aspect of it? But you take that opportunity away for them to be heroes in that moment by announcing that a Dem is caught having gay sex in this building. And
now here's a different side of that. What if it was a Republican caught having gay sex in the building?
Now that's a story.
See?
That I like. And I would kind of laugh at that because I know his.
I bet
team
there's
would be
more than
really-
we realized.
Oh yeah,
You know what I mean? Like
100%.
Like
The thing
No.
that bothers me the most, though, is that guy got all his charges dropped, but the dude who just walked in, took a picture at the podium, was in a solitary confinement for like a year.
Yeah.
That's what gets me going about it. It's like, I get they did the thing, whatever, punish them how you
100%.
want to punish them, but why are you punishing the Jan 6 people a lot worse than that? 'Cause
Yeah.
they did a lot less.
Yeah, they sure did. And that's
well, we all know
The people,
why,
there are
but
the
I mean,
people who broke in that are problems, the ones who were causing the problems. But like, I'm talking the ones who just got let in and walked through the place. Like,
yeah.
the video of those guys.
High five, took a
Yeah.
couple pictures. If you're one of those people that attack someone or broke a window,
jail. Yeah.
fine.
That's not
I have no
a peaceful
problem.
protest.
But let's be reasonable. You
Yeah.
broke a window. Okay. It's the
At that
Capitol.
point, just find the person and maybe give them some
community service, make them
yeah.
fucking pay for the window they broke,
Yep.
maybe a weekend
Paint
in
the building.
jail, work release, whatever. You don't need to destroy some fucking, guy's life and existence. Like that doesn't make sense.
Yeah.
It's the same thing.
Again, it does. But if you,
No, I know, but
Yeah.
it doesn't.
No, it
This is
doesn't.
the problem,
Yeah.
in a lot of these cases. The guy that got pissed off. I don't even think he was from Iowa, but he was a former military guy. He's a Christian. And so they've got a nativity scene set up in the in the Capitol, the state Capitol. And he's like, what the fuck, man? Michael Cassidy's his name, 35 years old, Navy veteran, charged with a hate crime. Because he went there and saw that, so they've got a nativity scene with Jesus and the baby and the whole fucking thing. And this dude's like, really? You're going to put a satanic stage statue next to it? And he went and he ripped the fucking head off it and threw it on the ground. It's kind of hilarious. It's all discarded and
Yeah.
broke. He broke the devil's head. Hate crime. Hate crime.
yeah.
Don't the satanic cultists not even believe that Satanism is a religion? They don't even regard it as a religion.
No, Satanism is pretty much just them saying like, well, if Christians can get away with stuff,
Right.
what if I want to wear a spaghetti thing on my head or
Right.
whatever? They're just trying to be counterculture.
But exactly. But I think honestly, in
badass looking though.
the Satan statue,
Oh,
yeah,
yeah.
it was kind of dope.
It's metal. Let me
So-
try and get the mouse.
Yeah, if you can pull it up, that'd be great.
Right up in here.
There you go. And he was like, "Come here, you!" And he ripped the head off. And right next to it's a nativity scene at Christmas, so it's meant to stoke people up, work people up, and it worked. And this guy is a proud patriot. He's a fucking military man.
He looks like one.
Christian guy, yeah. He goes over there and he can't handle it. He's like, "Brr," and he rips it down. He feels it's insulting to his religion. My point is, you're charging it as a hate crime for like an attack on a religion that you don't agree with. But I don't even think that Satanist cultist people involved in this story or in general consider Satanism a religion. I honestly mean that. I don't think they do. So I don't know how you're wedging it into that, but okay. So this is, he's a Christian who lives in Mississippi. Arrested, charged with 4th-degree criminal mischief after beheading the statue. Damage done to the statue will cost between $750 and $1,500 to repair. Prosecutors allege Cassidy acted in violation of individual rights under Iowa's hate crime statute. Evidence shows the defendant made statements to law enforcement and the public indicating he destroyed the property because of the victim's religion. The State Satanic Temple of Iowa received permission to display the statue in the state capitol building. Yeah, this is an argument every year where it's like, fuck, they found a loophole.
It's what the Satanists do. It's their whole job is just to try and make fun of the other religions.
Exactly.
That's their whole
yes.
religion.
And to your point, the spaghetti,
the Pastafarians was what they were calling
Pastafarians,
themselves.
exactly. Same type of thing. Shortly after the incident, Cassidy explained why he decided to destroy the display. I saw this blasphemous statue and was outraged. My conscience is held captive to the word of God, not to a bureaucratic decree. So I acted. The world may tell Christians to submissively accept the legitimization of Satan, but none of the founders would have considered government sanction of satanic altars inside Capitol buildings as protected by the First Amendment. Anti-Christian values have steadily been mainstreamed.
They should have.
More and more in recent decades, and Christians have largely acted like the proverbial frog in the boiling pot of water. It's a great point. I am not a Christian. I haven't been to church in 40 years. I don't know what I believe. I'm kind of one of those pussies. It's like
agnostic.
Yeah, I believe in something.
Yeah,
but
it's kind of like there's something up there.
There's something out. I don't know what it is, and I don't trust you assholes in the buildings to asking for money. So I don't really have a dog in this fight. The problem I have with this is fine. If you want to arrest and prosecute someone like this for doing something like this to property that wasn't theirs, that they didn't artistically build, that they didn't get a permit to display, whether you like it or not, that's fine. The minute you start arresting every fuck and prosecuting every piece of shit that ripped down every founding father statue across our country, and 100%, zero of those people were prosecuted for shit. No. They were encouraged by the media. They were encouraged by politicians. They didn't build those statues and monuments. They haven't accomplished dick in their lives. And so for you to run around and rip down statues just because you feel like being an asshole and an anarchist, that's not good enough reason. So if you want to do this and prosecute this guy to the fullest extent of the law, let's throw him in prison for a month or let's fine him up fine. Then do the same thing to these assholes that are running roughshod across your country. That's how I feel about it. You want to be fair about things. To your point again, it's the same with the Jan 6 people.
Yep.
Right? Like, no, you don't get to do this and throw these people in prison for 30 fucking years because the media's told you what they did and how outrageous it is. We all saw it.
Yeah.
None of us agreed with it.
No.
But nobody showed up with a gun. Nobody murdered anybody except a cop shooting Ashley Babbitt. I mean, there was that. And then a couple cops committed suicide shortly thereafter.
There's that, and then the one guy who apparently they said he got hit with a fire extinguisher and that killed him, but he actually died 2 days later from something else.
Yeah, he had a stroke or something.
Yeah, it was like a stroke or something.
There was no one that smashed anybody with a fire extinguisher.
And there was no video of him getting smashed or looking injured.
No. 100% that never happened. So, Isis, you look like you're concerned about this. Like you're taking issue with this.
No, I had other thoughts.
What was your thought?
No, it's for later.
Why?
It's for later.
Are you talking about statues being ripped down?
No.
You specifically looked at that moment like you took issue with
it's I had something else going on in my mind that's probably not for this show.
He's a Satanist.
No.
What are you talking about?
No, it's something.
Why can't it be on the show? Can you give me a hint so I can go, oh, yeah, you're right?
You said something a few minutes ago that's probably right as far as the idea of having opinions or not having opinions on this stuff. And I was just in my head starting to think that, yeah, you're right. I don't have that shit. I don't care as much about the stuff that you care about. I don't have as much a strong opinion as a co-host of a show. I'm not even a co-host, I guess.
Yeah, you sort of are.
But you're right. And that's what I was just thinking about that.
Yeah,
that's all.
It's okay. He's ready to go.
Well,
do you think that's changed over the last 10 years? Because I don't feel like you ever gave pushback on stories I picked. And
you're right. I think
my stories haven't changed all that much, honestly. I mean, in some ways, but
but I would say that you're right. I have changed in the sense that I think it's just not. I just don't care as much. I guess
you don't care about anything going on socially.
Not really.
Yeah,
I would say. Okay. And I feel bad. That's just how.
But you're entitled to that opinion, and you can still contribute in many ways.
No. I get it. You know what I was literally thinking in my head, to be honest with you, is that I think that I was thinking I'm going to be gone next week, but when I came back, maybe I'll sit over there and I'll try to find stuff on the thing, and you guys can talk it out. Like, I don't know, man. I just don't. I'm not trying to be mean about that. But.
Well, I certainly have stories that you would like. We didn't do it because we've run out of time.
Yeah.
But, the doctor jacking off on the plane in front of a 14-year-old girl. Ooh. Did he do it? Didn't he do it? Those are great stories for you. And believe it or not, I changed the way I didn't today because Garrett was here.
Right.
I 100% changed the way I prep when you're coming here.
I believe that. I do. I'm not trying to be a dick. I'm really not.
Well, you are. So I'm just kidding.
Well, it just hit my head, and I couldn't fucking get over it.
You're fine,
for whatever reason.
You're fine. No, I know that about you.
And someone I've changed. I'll admit that I've changed more than the other thing has changed. I will say that 100%.
Dude, if you think stories that you were doing 10 years ago are the same types of stories you're doing 10 years later, you're fucking wrong. It happened on the Drew and Mike show. It's happened on this. It's just not the same. As you grow older,
you're right.
You care about things where you were more reckless before. There's a lot of that. So while I find humor in a lot of the same stuff that I always have, there's some level of like, hey, there's not a ton of voices out there. There are some.
Yeah.
But there's not a ton going, hey, you're not the only one. Don't think for a second when you're being thrown all these stories about your country and your society, don't think you're the only one because you don't have a voice on a podcast or a TV show or something that you're alone. There are some of us out here who recognize it very much too, and we'll talk about that shit, make fun of it, talk about how outrageous it is when the road to hell being paved with good intentions is a good example.
Yeah,
it's like, oh wow, the drug fucking laws being ripped away in Portland didn't work. Wow.
Right.
Never saw that coming. Could have done that story today. Well, made fun of those fucking dipshits. But, I pick and choose. I do the best I can.
I would argue what I think I already said on this show. I would argue that the reality is that I don't think we disagree that much.
I know.
I just think we have different coping mechanisms. Mine has been to just not care.
Yeah.
That's what mine's been.
And I can do that too. There's certain stories where I can go fuck it and shut down on.
I felt bad.
When we're down here, I really am not talking to you two. I'm talking to the audience. We all are. And so it's more for them. So it's like, if I hit a story you don't like, that's cool.
No,
and you could even say that.
That's the thing. That's a reality.
You can say that, but it's like, dude, do you think I'm trying to pick stories that half the room's going to go, fuck, I hate that? No.
No, I don't think you do. I'm telling you.
I don't. I promise you I don't.
And also, it's real. That's what I would tell you. I was just in my mind starting to realize, crap, maybe I'm at that point. I don't know.
But your mind's in Mackinac, because that's like a one spot where you have no cars. There's nothing.
Yeah.
I am very excited to go back for sure.
And be as happy as you can be. And I like.
I love you for who you are. I know you're a gentle, kind soul of a
person. I'm not mad or anything. It's my own
matters.
shit. To be honest with you, it's my own shit. I would argue.
And you don't take it out on me. I could just see the look on your face when I'm doing certain stories.
No, I felt bad about it.
And I'm like, boy, I really would have thought Isis would have a small opinion on this and understand where I was going with this, but he's clearly bent.
No, I wasn't really mad. I wasn't mad. I was just, you know what? I was stupidly during a show decided to start thinking of something, and I'm fucking how I am.
You're fine, dude. All right, James writes in. From yesterday.
Here we go.
Oh boy, sorry, Garrett.
That's fine.
Don't forget, I've always said I'm closer to a libertarian than anything else. I'm pretty sure Garrett and I would get along in the real world.
No way.
I've also been listening to Drew and Mike since before even you were on the show. It's always about entertaining people, and that's something TDC has in spades. Ciao for now. Thank
Cord's
you, James.
saying that he is stewing right now.
Right.
What's that?
Cord say he's stewing.
Oh, are you in a stew?
I wouldn't say that. No. I
get the carrots.
I would not.
Get the potatoes.
I
the vegan meat.
No, he's fine.
I'm fine.
He's
I'm not
fine.
mad or anything.
Yeah.
I actually feel bad. I feel like I feel like I
Isis,
I kind of fucked
this
up
is
a little
probably
bit.
the most entertaining part of the show to random strangers. Trust me. So don't worry
the
about
comments are popping back up again.
Yeah, there you go.
We got
What
a
are they
little
saying?
Moment. There's a couple making fun of E. I'll be honest. There's the new Big E reads big chats. Wowza by Cord again. Stir Crazy said this new Big E has competition.
I agree. I would say.
I know my dad said bring back Spuds McKenzie during the Bud Light thing.
Yeah, Spuds was great. Love Spuds McKenzie.
What about the Bud Bowl?
I even liked Budweiser. The frogs. The Bud frogs were great.
I have a question when you mentioned the Budweiser shit. My buddy, I know you don't like him. I get it, but I don't love him all the time either. But my buddy Scott, you would have liked Scott more than you would have liked.
Scott's fine.
I think you would have liked Scott, but
dude, I'm just busting balls. I have no issue with Scott.
I know,
I promise.
But he had a thing.
Or
Me and him
Tyler.
did have a running thing where that he really believed that no commercial was ever funny, and I disagreed with that. I think that now I said they're funny for a commercial.
Oh
yes,
yeah, there's some funny.
He in his mind there literally has never been. And I'd give him ideas and. And the thing is, you got to say funny for a commercial. Yeah, you're never going to see a commercial that's as funny as a stand-up that you've ever.
Well, there's clever and creative. ESPN.
I told him I've absolutely
ESPN killed those.
Back in the day,
back
dude?
in the day, those
The
were
90s?
great. Yeah,
Early
fantastic.
2000s.
Yeah, you're telling me that's not funny with the bald guy with the "Ma" yelling up from the basement,
right?
Dude, that's a straight up funny ass commercial.
Oh yeah,
can't remember his fucking name now, but.
And you got to know something about Scott. And I'm not saying anything behind his back, but he hates.
Is he kind of an anarchist?
He hates big. So I think that
I'm with him on that.
Has a deeper issues of why he would not even willing to admit that a commercial is funny. I think in his mind because he hates all corporations essentially. Yeah. Which I don't even disagree with, but I disagree that there are not clever commercials out there. I'm not saying
what's his alternative to these corporations? I agree.
I agree with that, dude.
Yeah.
No, I know.
The answer is
it's a tough question.
None.
It's a tough.
It's a very tough question, and it's a problem when you have a globe that in 1970 had a population of 2 billion,
right?
And you fast forward a simple 50 years, and now it's at 8 billion. Plus,
no, we got to know
this is a problem. But what do? You're going to break down the corporations and start from scratch because Scott doesn't like it.
Right, I know.
I mean, give me a break, dude.
No, I know. And we had talks with each other.
You can bitch all you want, and yes, those corporations are evil. I agree with you on it. But until you have a better plan to sustain 8 billion people on the planet.
And you
certainly 5
create
billion?
jobs and stuff like that.
Yeah,
we had and I did
it's
get
a stupid argument.
I got him to finally admit. I remember one time that it's like even under some utopian society that where there's maybe like everyone gets an income, right, or whatever. In his world of what an utopian society would be, like, dude, you still have to have some perks for people that work harder or something. You can't just have. It was one of the few contentions he ever finally gave, but he's like, "No, I agree." Or something
that's
like.
one of the reasons communism fails every
single time, no matter where on earth it's been tried.
The McDonald's workers should not be making the same as a doctor because those are very different jobs.
No, I know it sounds dumb that he agreed to that, but I will say it took a lot to finally agree to some stuff on my end.
That's a problem. I hate people like that because
I
I have no problem when someone presents me with evidence of something and going, "Oh wow, I see where you're coming from. I still am not crazy about it, but I see where you're coming from."
Well, I always wondered I always wondered if they, not to go down that route, but how that fucking trip got funded wasn't by fucking socialism.
No,
it was fucking by me
not.
benefiting highly from capitalism.
Yes,
exactly.
Oh, yeah.
So I mean,
exactly. Someone says pickled eggs. You haven't lived. Do I need to send you some pickled eggs? No.
Yes.
No.
Yes.
Please don't.
Give them
Please don't.
They're good.
Okay, from Luke. Mike, looking forward to the changes in the show. Just bummed for how things ended up with you and T. It was clear you guys have been friends for a long time. Hate to see see a shit grenade be thrown into this and piss him off. What are you going to do? Right. Anyway, you and Drew talked about We Are the World. Made me call back to an old Simpsons where they did a spoof of We Are the World for Timmy O'Toole, who fell down the well.
Yep.
Fucking great. And then he sent me a link. By the way, not sure if you're following it, but I've been sending Drew and Charlie LaDuff some stuff about January 6th bomber in D.C. I'm assuming this is the one that the guy that was dropped pipe bombs. January 6th.
Oh, yeah.
That's never been prosecuted. And no one seems to have an interest.
They're saying it's an FBI agent.
100%.
Ray Epps.
Yeah, 100%. He says that story is quietly blowing up on how it was a scam narrative that was pushed. Interested in that shit or not? I'm very interested in that shit. The problem is I don't want to go too far down the rabbit hole on a talk show. There's people way smarter than me that do it better than me, and it's very, very fucking polarizing. I'm polarizing enough, and It's a tough one. But believe me, I know the story you're talking about. Send me anything you want. I always appreciate when you guys send me stuff. I'll take a look at it for sure. Oh, and the E-tard correcting your pronunciation of a word last week was just stellar.
I did?
The fucktard can't say the word put, but he's going to big time you over something menial.
Oh,
that fucking guy.
It must have been Marriott. Right?
Was it Marriott?
It must have been.
Yeah.
But
I was going back and forth, Marriott or Marriott.
Marriott or Marriott.
I would say in my defense, I wasn't even correcting you. I was more making a point to know, like, dude, have you ever known that this is actually not right?
Isn't it Meyer or Fords? And,
well, Meyer. You're never. It's not Myers.
Right. Reese's.
Right. Yeah.
Yeah.
But I would say
it's one of those.
No, you
Yeah.
brought it up more like not like a correction, but just like the fun fact, it's actually pronounced.
No, it was more like, I started hearing commercials myself, and I'm like, Marriott? It's Marriott.
Yeah.
Or whatever. And then we looked it up. So I don't think I was correcting you.
Well, it was close enough for him. It was
Okay.
something he could put in an email. And
Yeah,
before,
okay.
so
I'll give you
that's
that.
fine. Roots. I love that comedy. Why would I feel bad after watching
boy.
it? It's no Blazing Saddles, but it's pretty good.
Oh, my.
We got all types.
All right, that's funny. See,
I
that's just
love
funny.
I love the range.
Hell yeah. Muff Potter, Joe Harper, and the Ragged Man.
Which one is which?
Okay, do you know who those characters are?
No.
Yeah.
Okay, never
those
mind.
are all Tom Sawyer characters.
Oh, okay.
Huckleberry Finn.
Oh.
Muff Potter's the drunk that gets. They tried to hang him. He was
Gotcha.
falsely accused of murder. Dr. Robinson,
Okay.
something like that.
Do you know who the others were or no?
Joe Harper was friends with Tom Sawyer and tried to frame Muff. And then Ragged Man was a villain, I believe, and he was friends with
Which one am I?
Injun
The
Joe.
drunk? I
No,
guess
dude, I don't know.
guess.
The drunk from Tom Sawyer is definitely Muff Potter. I don't know which one of us that is. Do you drink a lot, Garrett?
Not too often, no.
No.
I actually quit drinking last year. Had a moment where I was going a little too far.
All right, that happens.
Yeah.
So I guess I don't know.
It wasn't too bad, but it was one of those things where like every night I was starting to have one, then two, and then I'm like,
Yeah,
all right.
yeah.
Like beers or
Yeah,
like
like beers,
liquor?
but then I started, it would be like Crown Vanilla was one of my weaknesses.
Okay.
So I'd get like
Yeah.
a bottle of that, and then every night I'd get home from work, Crown Vanilla on the rocks, and it's
Yeah.
still in my room. And then all of a sudden I'm drinking straight.
Smart move at your age. At your age, I would have just downed the whole fucking
Yeah.
bottle.
How
Smart.
old are you? I forget.
26.
26. Holy shit.
Yep.
So,
Holy
so Joe Harper. So which one of us would be Joe Harper? Which one's going to turn on the other and try to frame you for something?
I guess I'd say I would maybe. If
You
it really
think you
came down
would?
to it.
Like if someone put pressure on you, like reveal the name or all fucking pinch
yeah,
you.
I'll say that.
You'd sell me out for
Plus,
if someone
I mean,
threatened to pinch you.
Yeah, possibly. Yeah.
Ragged Man, I'm going to say that's me. Friend
Joe
of
Harper was Tom's best friend and partner in crime. I'm looking him up right now.
Okay.
And then I do not see Ragged Man here.
I believe he was in the. Didn't Disney do something with it? I don't know.
What's the one that says the N word all the time? I'm just kidding.
Yeah, that's
That would have been Song of the South.
yeah. No, that word's written in there. God forbid.
The Alabama song they had a song called "The South Will Rise Again" that I don't think gets a lot of airplay anymore.
Yeah. Anyways, so
I see
wishing
one.
you all the best of luck with the new format. Ooh, it sounds like someone's leaving us. Wishing you the best of the luck. It's like,
I think it already happened.
yeah. I loved Mike Clark and Jay and T. Here's to hoping I can learn to love again. Your humble and obedient servant.
Open your
NFL
heart.
Bob.
Open your heart.
Yeah,
oh,
Bob-
NFL
Bob's
Bob,
good.
he's a good dude. He was, you know what's funny?
All right, we'll go out on this one because I got to get out of here. So go ahead.
Oh,
Go ahead.
it's a ridiculous story, but I saw him at Mackinac one time this summer, and I had eaten, because all day he kept saying, like, he's like, oh, we're on the island. I actually saw him once, while I was doing my little job, and he's like, we'll meet for a beer. I'm going to have dinner with my wife. And so I kept thinking, he's not really saying he'll buy me a meal, so I don't know what to do. So I ate right before I went out to get the beer, because I'm like, I don't want to.
He would have bought you a dinner.
Well, then we get
Of
there,
course.
and he's like, he said, well, do you want to get something to eat? I said, if I was just honest with him, I was like, here's the deal, Bob. You kept never saying really there was going to dinner, so I ate before I came. Can I order something and get it to go? And
No,
a beer?
you didn't.
Yes. I asked
What
him
did he
if
say? Did he say yes?
he kind of just said, well, why don't you just order it and we'll go from there? And
Yeah,
I ended
yeah.
up eating it.
He's
but-
such a good guy. He's
but I
such a
kind of
good
kept
guy.
trying.
He's always going to pay for your dinner.
I
Don't
know. I
worry.
essentially tried to get like a to-go.
Now,
free
I'd
meal.
like to make fun of you for that, but I've had a couple times where people are like, hey, let's meet at this bar or this restaurant. And I'm like, yeah, I'm going to pass, man, because I don't want to fucking, it's like, nah.
Well, I wouldn't have bought the dinner. It's one of these weird
Hell
things
no.
because I'm cheap.
No.
I'm cheap.
No. Subject, the Woke Bay.
Uh-oh.
Hey, Mike.
No, he'll
the
be
Woke Bay
positive
is
for you, I
great.
promise.
The Woke Bay is great. The only issue is E needs to shut the fuck up. So there was that.
Yeah, that could be
I
coming
wonder who
up.
that's from.
I can see it through the paper.
Yeah. It's on.
Pablo every time.
Yeah, he's in his right spot. All right. We'll kill it there. We love reading your emails. Send them along. Walters@DetroitCast.com. So next week will be different. I'll do some Drew and Mike pause this weekend. And I look forward to that. I didn't do any last weekend, and I should have, but it's been crazy around here. So I'll do a bunch of that this weekend. I look forward to that. It's been really fun to do. And Isis, I'm going to wish you well. You're going with the fam out of town for a week.
Experience vacation or whatever. It was a gift, a Christmas gift to the parents.
Right.
So
nice.
Yep.
So, but Woke Bay, are you having fun?
Oh, I'm having a lot of fun.
Are you, Garrett? Good.
Yeah.
Good. It's good to have you here. I'm glad people are reacting well. Let us know what you guys think. And Garrett and I will be back next week. Maybe we'll Zoom Raj in or something one day. And yeah, we'll figure it out. If not, we can kick it around. And Isis, have fun with the family. Say hi to everyone.
Thank you. I will.
Of course. Have a great rest of the day, everybody. We'll talk to you soon.